Good evening. Please for the one in chat you can hear me. For the two in chat you cannot. Good evening. I'm using a different kind of mic tonight, so I'm not sure how I may sound right now. Again, please for the one in chat you can hear me. For the two in chat you cannot. So we can get this party rolling. Happy weekend all. It's your girl Kashai KK Fit here with another episode of Wine and FaceTime. I definitely thought I was not going to be able to do a live video at 8 p.m. So here I am with an actual live video in addition to the video I just dropped at 8 p.m. Just want to come through, show love, show good weekend, everyone. Again, hope you guys can hear me. Again, if you're here with me live, please put the one in chat you can hear me. So if you cannot hear me, um, I'm gonna take off my mic because I'm just really not sure if someone's gonna actually comment and see if they can hear me or not. So I'm gonna just take off my mic real quick. One moment, guys. One moment for an ad, and I'll be right back.
Okay. I work out all the time. I can do lots of different moves. Have never been able to do one full push-up.
Push-ups are the best way.
Okay. I work out all the time. I can do lots of different moves. Have never been able to do one full push-up.
Push-ups are the best way to start your day.
I will try one standard push-up.
It's not the best push-up, but I can get down and get back up.
Okay, so now I'm without my mic that I just additionally had. So hopefully you guys can hear me again. Cloud watchers, real watchers, please put a one in the chat if you can hear me. So if you cannot, I just had a new mic in. I'm not sure if that affects how I sound right now. But yeah. So this is definitely an impromptu because I thought we can definitely not have time to do this live, and I dropped my video at 8 p.m. So this definitely counts as a one in FaceTime. Again, guys, make sure you like subscribe to my channel. Hopefully there's something you like up here, whether it's the short videos, hair, makeup, workout, wine and FaceTime, anything I post. Thank you guys for pulling up. I definitely want to spend a special shout out to all the new subscribers. My subscription list is growing slowly but surely, even when I'm not live or posting any short videos. So very grateful, very humble for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. Again, it means I'm doing something right, and somewhere along the lines is, something that's really reaching people. So remember the time we were kids, guys. We actually were kids, and we actually had our favorite cereals, our favorite cartoons. That's what this impromptu is going to be about right now. Like, remember the time we were a kid and you had your favorite cartoon, favorite cereal you wanted to eat. What was your favorite cartoon? What was your favorite cereal? Oh my gosh, I feel like this takes me back to being young. I like to talk about the little things, like remember the time when we were kids and everything like that, because it brings you back to less simple times when life wasn't so stressful, when so many responsibilities weren't needed, because you were just a kid having fun. But for me, I didn't really, plan this as well, like, as far as having video and all this research and everything like that, because again, I already said what I said. But one of my favorite cereals back in the day was definitely Captain Crunch peanut butter. I was definitely a Captain Crunch peanut butter, Captain Crunch blueberries. Those were definitely my ways. I love those cereals. Those cereals were popping. Those were lit for me. I definitely didn't like cornflakes. I didn't like Cheerios. I didn't like Smacks. I didn't like, Frosted Flakes were okay. They were like a plan B option if I had a plan B. I didn't like Kix, Kix. I didn't like those so much. We didn't really have corn pops. I think that at that point, the corn pops came out a little bit later in the '90s, whatever the case is. But I was real strict on what I did and did not like. I didn't really like Rice Krispies. I like those cereals that had like some kind of sugar already in it where you didn't need to have extra sugar to it. That was really more or less of my thing. But again, I was a kid, right? I like the cereals like Fruity Pebbles. Fruity Pebbles automatically give you like that sugary pink milk or that sugary chocolate milk, whether it was Fruity Pebbles chocolate or Fruity Pebbles fruit, fruity, whatever the case is. Like those were like so good to me. Another cereal I think I liked a lot when I was a kid, was definitely I feel like those are my top ones, right now. Those were definitely my top ones. I can't think of any ones that were like much better than those. Like I'm gonna definitely stick with Fruity Pebbles, Captain Crunch peanut butter, and Captain Crunch the Crunch Berries. I'm gonna stick with those three because everything else you needed to have extra sugar or whatever to make them really good. But as I got older, I definitely got into more healthier cereals like maybe like NutriBalance or Nutri-Grain or Raisin Bran, cereals that you added your own fruits to, added additives to this to make it really good. Definitely was big on oatmeal. I loved oatmeal all growing up. Definitely was good on, cinnamon, brown sugar or maple brown sugar or apple cinnamon or, peaches and cream, strawberry creams, Quaker's oats, definitely transitioned to stale oats. Definitely did not get into overnight oats. I've never experienced the overnight oats experience as far as cereal, but I guess I'll get there at some point. I've definitely seen it in Whole Foods and Trader Joe's and certain supermarkets, but I haven't gotten there yet. But definitely was a big cereal kid. I loved milk growing up. I would drink just like, I would always drink the milk out of all my bowls after cereal. I was always the kid that just, wanted to slurp up my milk. Like, my cereal wasn't finished unless I drank the milk. Like I was that kind of kid. And then I actually got to the point where I got tired of cereal and I didn't want to drink any milk anymore. And I was just over the whole milk process. But shout out to Irby Vital. Hey Irby, thanks for popping in. Like, shout out to Irby. Irby's the best. Irby's always in everyone's chat. He says Fruit Loops, Pop Tarts, Corn Flakes. Those were his favorite cereals. Like, yes, we all had our favorite cereals, and now cereals on a whole nother level. It's 2023, and we got Pop Tart cereal, we got cookies and cream cereal, we got cereal with all kind of fruits and marshmallows inside with fake fruits, extra added, preservatives, and we got fruit cereals with chocolate in it, cereals with vanilla in it, strawberries, all kind of infused fruits, and cereals and marshmallows and sugars and all kind of crap. So cereal was pretty much more of like a very young kid kind of thing right now. We have cereal bars, which is on the go. You're not gonna sit down with a bowl of milk and a spoon and actually sit down and place eat your cereal. There's the cereal bars, which are super duper sugary, which it look like kind of like a protein bar or like, one of those Nutri-Grain bars, healthy protein bars, kind of on the go snack meals that are supposed to keep, like all your essentials, vitamins, carbs, sugars, proteins all in one bunch on like, a literal candy bar. Like it's supposed to like, give you that kind of breakfast feel. But I've had a few of them and I'm not gonna lie, they're so sugary that you will, in my opinion, you definitely need like an 8 ounce bottle of Poland Spring in your other hand while you're eating that bar. The bars are so sugary, whether it's a cinnamon toast crunch, fruity pebbles, Cheerios bar. All those bars are really, really sugary. Unless you're going to like a GNC or like a health food store or like a whole food store or like a natural store, we can get it less sugar down, more nutrients, more fiber, more carbs, more essential additives you actually need on a nutritional value versus of the sugary, tasty, pretty colored package value. Shout out to 18 Flutter. He says cinnamon toast crunch. Yes, cinnamon toast crunch was a poppin' cereal. I forgot about that. Cinnamon toast was definitely a poppin' crunch cereal. It wasn't a cereal I had the luxury of getting all the time, but it was good. Cinnamon toast crunch was another cereal where you didn't need extra sugar or anything to add to it. As long as you had your milk, you was good. So I was definitely on that wave of having the cereals where I didn't have to have extra sugar or a low fat milk to make it taste good. Like I just needed the cereal where as soon as I added my milk, it was gonna be good. And the same thing with oatmeals. Like for me, with my oatmeals, I definitely had to have that sugar, that stick of butter, that light bit of sugar, maybe some cinnamon, with my oatmeal. I like thick oatmeal. I don't like watery, loopy, soupy oatmeal, But of course, sometimes, it'd be like that, whatever. But I like that oatmeal that feels almost like grits. Like you gotta pour into it and dig into it. Like it feels hearty pulling up the scoop. Like I like that kind of oatmeal. The oatmeal where it's like, you're actually full midway eating it. You're full and you're forcing yourself to finish the rest of the bowl because you ain't gonna eat a good breakfast, a good lunch probably, or you may eat like a late dinner and you need something inside of you. So like it's getting to that time where we're gonna be getting into more of those wholesome oatmeals, those hearty lunches, chicken noodle soup is about to start coming back around in our kitchens. We're going to start smelling chili and, baked lasagnas and baked ziti, those wholesome, hearty, heavy meals that stick on us while we're outside the day, going to work, going to school, picking up the kids, going food shopping, doing laundry, doing personal errands or whatever the case is. We're going to start to make some of those heartier meals, those cornbread meals, those meals that stick with you throughout the day. So, you're not so starving when you get home, or at least when you get home, you can heat up something that's in the refrigerator from last night that's gonna hold you until dinner time. Like we're getting into that, and that just reminds me of being a kid. Eating your favorite cereals. In the winter times after school, whatever cases, or when on school break, and all we did was eat cereal, watch our favorite cartoons, and like that took me even to the cartoon things. Like, what was your guys' favorite cartoons? Like for me, I was big on He-Man. I was big on Thundercats. I was big on Care Bears. I was big on Ninja Turtles, the cute little ones, not the big ones that's in the Megan Fox movie that Michael Bay directed. That they look like whole aliens, not them big Ninja Turtles, not those, but the cute ones. When they looked at more like the action figures you can actually buy in the store. Sorry, guys, I'm in my kitchen, awkward space right now. I'm like in a real awkward space. So sorry. One moment. But I'm talking about those old Ninja Turtles, when Master Splinter and them, they looked actually cute. The Ninja Turtles today, they look like full grown African. They look like full grown African Ninja Turtles slice. I don't know, hood niggas. I don't know. They scary looking. They don't look like the cute Ninja Turtles from the comic books and from the story times from UPN and WPIX and Channel 5 Fox. They don't look the same Ninja Turtles. These boys look they've been injected with some of that shit that's in a Spider-Man movie that made Spider-Man friends turn green and get that long tail and get crazy. But anyway, back to the subject of the cases, like cereal was lit, like we all had our favorite cereals, and we all came from a time where we may not have had the option to have our favorite cereal, so we had to make the cereal lit. Whether we had to whether we had to add peanut butter to it, or we had to add fresh bananas sliced up into the cereal, or other kind of fruits, or brown sugar, or whatever you have to do to make the cereal lit. Like it brings me back to the culture, being innocent, being young, again, no responsibilities, no accountability, just growing up, living, and just having fun, thinking about the good times, watching your favorite cartoons. Again, and going back to the whole cartoon session, another one of my favorite cartoons was Care Bears. I love the Care Bears. I thought they were so cute. Their little tummies would turn different colors. It sounds so corny and stupid right now, but they little tummies would turn different colors, and they were all represent something different, and they were all about unity and power and friendship and love, and saving the earth and all other crap, whatever the case is. But they were so cute. This is again when we're young, where we're not so mentally influenced by our surroundings and our environments. We're like just so innocent. Like definitely under 10 years old. Definitely under 10 years old. But I used to love the Care Bears. I used to want to paint my stomach with a little sign on it. And I had a big pot belly, little stomach, like I always had a little belly all my life. Always wanted to paint my little stomach with a little sign on it. I wanted to be a Care Bear so bad, it's just ridiculous. The 18 letter said Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, X-Men, Batman, and animated series. Yeah, for sure. Remember going to fast food restaurants back in the day, like in the 80s and early 90s, and you would get a Happy Meal. You always got whatever movie was out on whatever blockbuster movie came out in the movie theaters, whatever the case is, that toy was probably always in the Happy Meal. You always probably got that toy in the Happy Meal. You may not have gotten the toy you wanted in the Happy Meal, but whether it was Burger King, McDonald's, Roy Rogers, Wendy's, whatever kind of fast food restaurant it was, if they had a kid meal and you ordered a kid meal for your kid, or you went to the store and got a kid meal for your kid, you definitely got some kind of toy inside, no matter what kind of movie was out, what kind of cartoon was out. That used to be so lit. We used to save some little cartoon character, little action figures, and we used to try to collect them all to get as many as we had. I don't know what we would do with it, because we didn't have cell phones back then and cameras and stuff like that. Rakim said, do you remember gems and holograms? Oh yes, gems and holograms. Those was freaking super dope. We used to be so amazed at the little amount of creativity we had to really capture our imagination compared to these kids right now. These kids right now require so much that it's almost ridiculous to keep them busy and not bored for 24 hours in a day. But for sure, that just takes me back. Even some of my favorite shows I used to watch. I used to watch this show called damn, what's the name of the show? It was a little girl, she was a robot. They used to put her in a closet, and she lived with a family, and she could do all kind of weird, funky, crazy, stupid stuff for her kids. It came on Channel 4, Channel 5. I forget the name of the show, whatever cases, but it was a show about a robot girl that wasn't human, that lived with a human family, and she looked really human, but she was super strong and everything like that. And she wanted to, she had a little family, whatever the cases, but she never kind of fit in. But they tried to make her fit in, whatever the cases. Like those are my shows. This girl called Evie, she used to have like her father was like I think from Mars on another planet. He used to talk to her through like this little triangle that she would keep on her desk in her room, and she would just pretty much talk about all her problems whenever she had the chance to. And her mother was human, but her father was like an alien from another country, another planet, whatever the case is. And he would talk to her through like this little triangle thing, and she would vent all her stress and trauma to him, and he would just always try to be there for her the best he could. But it was always never enough, whatever cases. And she would have times where she would be stressed out, and she could like pause space and time around her, to think and process her feelings and emotions. And she has some real dope psychic, kind of powers and abilities, what I'm saying, as a human slash, I guess, android robot girl, I guess she was, whatever the case is. But dope. I used to love like I Dream of Jeannie. That was another joint. Like that joint was super dope. I Dream of Jeannie was crazy because she was cool, she was sexy, she was pretty, she was hip, she was smart. She would play dumb, but she wasn't dumb at all. Those were definitely the good old times. Like we really have nothing to like reference now. Like like I remember the last time I woke up in the morning and had cereal for breakfast and actually watch cartoons. Like I'll catch cartoons on TV and everything like that, but it's really, 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 really rare. But speaking of cartoons, I actually saw the Barbie movie today. I actually saw the Barbie movie today on the Fire Stick, and it was actually pretty good. Like I remember when it first came out, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna go see that because what are they gonna talk about now that we haven't heard about? Like Barbie has everything from being like an '80s baby to now like we done saw Barbie's Malibu dream house, her Ferrari, her Corvette, her pool house, her friends, all the jobs she's had. Like my first thought was like, what are they gonna talk about Barbie that we haven't already heard about already? Like I'm not even gonna watch that. But I scrolled through it and actually watched it, and it was actually a very, 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 very good movie. It had nothing to do about specifically about Barbara's accomplishment and what she did. It was really about, being a woman, the standards, the stereotypes, the statistics, the work ethics, the life of every woman in every culture in every household across America and across the globe, and what we got to go through, and what it means to be a woman. What does that look like? Our responsibilities, our accountabilities, what we get credit for, what we don't get credit for. Like it was a really, 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 really good movie. And Issa Rae was in it. I think the main character from Suicide Squads, and y'all know her from she was in the Dark Knight, I think, also with the Joker. The blonde girl, I think her name was Margot Robbie or Margot something. She was in it. She was the main character, but it was a really, really good movie. Like I'm mad that I judged it and didn't even give it a fair shot from the beginning. It just considered it an animated series for little kids, but it was one of those movies, kind of like when you went to the movies to go see what was that movie that came out recently that a lot of adults went to the movies to go see, but it was considered like a kid movie, but mad adults was in the movie theaters to see it. Um, what was it? I think it was Sonic. Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog. Like Sonic the Hedgehog was another movie that when we went to movies to go see it with my daughter, it was like more adults in the movie theater than kids. It was like, hold on, but this is supposed to be a kids movie. Like, why there's so many adults in it? But then again, that was our era, the 1980s, 90s, Sega Genesis. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was our era. Like, a lot of us were actually in those stores buying the video games, getting the consoles, renting the video games from the video rental spots and stuff like that. Like, that was our time. And times are so different now. Like I don't think they even have video stores right now. We can actually like rent a PS5 game or Xbox 360 game. Maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe I'm in New York, so maybe that's happening in other places. Maybe it is happening here, but I'm just used to the new world of everything is download, digital, touchless, wireless. Hand delivery. Like that's the world we're living right now. I see some comments in the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Irby Fatal, the 18th letter. 18th letter says another one of my favorite shows was Wild and Crazy Kids on Nickelodeon. Yes, talking about Nickelodeon, one of my favorite shows on Nickelodeon was Legends of the Hidden Temple. I used to love Legends of the Hidden Temple. Like I used to always want to be one of those colorful squads. Like I think they had the blue Jabberwockies and the yellow lions. Like they always had these cool freaking names for all the teams, and It was so interesting. And then the team that made it to the end, that got a chance to go through like that whole crazy maze, to get to the end and not get caught by those weird, creepy things that was in the back of all the scenes wouldn't get you. Like, it was just so amazing. Like, it reminds me of the early versions of Double D. If you get gagged and slimed and have all this crazy attention going on around you, and then possibly, can lose money or gain money depending on the obstacle course and how athletic and creative and energetic you was. If you could swim, you could hold your breath, like all that stuff, like taking back to the American Gladiator days. Like those days were like so fun, so lit. Like those are definitely good times. Like all we have right now, even if we still were in the kid mind of watching cereal, watching breakfast, and I mean watching cereal, watching breakfast, eating cereal, watching our cartoons, like we're now in a whole phase of reality TV. Everything is reality TV, reality TV, reality TV, reality TV. That some people on YouTube faking out, faking and pretending to have reality TV up there about their lives, and it's like, yeah, that's super duper fake. But yeah, guys, so jump into this. I'm gonna drop the link to the panel, you know what I'm saying? If you guys want to talk about some of your favorite cereals you had as a kid growing up, or your favorite cartoons you were into as a kid growing up while eating your cereal on Saturday mornings or Sunday mornings, because that's when kids were able to like, get up and watch TV all damn day without parents being on your freaking back for like not cleaning up your room or doing your chores or doing your homework or not being clean or anything like that. Like that was the time where we all grew up and like we we had our early morning breakfast cereal, if we could afford it, and again, if we couldn't afford cereal, we're gonna keep it real. We had the WIC or food stamps or public assistance that gave us the cheapest version of the cereal. We had to hook it up and make it good. Again, like I said, whether we were slicing up bananas and adding bananas to the cereal. Shout out to the introvert Wika. Thank you for being here. My got dry real quick. Whether we had to cut up bananas and add extra sugar and flavored milk to the cereals to make it poppin', like some of us were on that level where we couldn't have the name brand cereals and we got the no name brand cereals because we got assistance. Hey, we all been there, it's all good, like these are part of our stories. These are our stories, whether we want to accept them or reject them. These have made us better parents, better people. Like this has made us, who we are today. This is why now our children, they don't have to worry about having that extra, no name brand cereal or, not having the best or enough or, what's required because, we went through those struggles. So we're like, no, that's not going to be their struggles, right? So yeah, but again, it's just a memory lane story about, our favorite cereals as a kid, our favorite cartoons, like those memory lanes I feel like are great ways to, redirect your mind on positive energy and not be caught up in negativity and stresses of daily life, get yourself back to those creative, innocent times where life was just simple and fun. And no, we can't live in those 24/7, but when life can get overwhelming, it can be a great resource way and strategy for a short period of time to be able to just say, woosah. You know? So Ramon says, I grew up on foster flakes. I didn't have choices in that. I feel you, Ramon. I'm pretty sure over a while you made that foster flakes taste good. You added some kind of sweet fruits from the island or some kind of sugar cane from the island or something and hooked that foster flake up over time. It became more than just foster flakes. Like you hooked it up to your kind of foster flakes. You know what I'm saying? Oh, because of your culture. Well, I'm not an atheist, but I grew up not in a specific religion, having gone to a specific church or synagogue or do certain kind of prayers or worshiping anything like that. So living with my mom, like I didn't have to go through any of those kind of things. But at the end of the day, to be honest, yeah, I understand some people did have that background. Some people really, really did have that background. I'm gonna definitely drop the link. I need to go get my laptop charger though because I see my laptop is on like 50%, and I don't know something about my MacBook. Like this joint be dropping quick. So I'm definitely gonna drop the link. We can talk about it more. But one moment, I'll be right back. So if I don't let you up to the stage, anybody right away is because I want to get my laptop charger. So I'm gonna drop the link. We can jump into this. Let's talk about your favorite cereals growing up as a kid. Your favorite cartoons. I wasn't a Dragon Ball Z fan. Sorry, I told you I'm in like a weird place. I'm in my kitchen right now. And I just dropped something. So I'll be right back. Stay with me, guys. I'm gonna play an ad, but feel free to hit the link if you want to pop up, pop in, shoot the ish with me real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. I work out all the time. I can do lots of different moves. I have never been able to do one full push-up.
Push-ups are the best way to start your day.
I will try one standard push-up.
It's not the best push-up, but I can get down and get back up.
Okay. I work out all the time. I can do lots of different moves. I have never been able to do one full push-up.
Push-ups are the best way to start your day.
I will try one standard push-up.
It's not the best push-up, but I can get down and get back up.
Okay. I work out all the time. I can do lots of different moves. I have never been able to do one full push-up.
Push-ups are the best way to start your day.
I will try one standard push-up.
It's not the best push-up, but I can get down and get back up.
Okay. I work out all the time. I can do lots of different moves. I have never been able to.
Okay, I kind of had to replay that like enough times so you have to see me to see that I'm that black girl in the last clip with the red white beater and the fake folk locks. I had to like replay that like 4 or 5 times and make sure I'm like, oh, that's her big hair right there. But yeah, so I just dropped the link to the panel. Anybody want to pop in, pop in. This is not gonna be long, as I said. But yeah, reminisce with me. Let's go back. Let's go back to that. So I definitely have my first guest popping up to the panel. You guys know him from Chi-Town. He's been doing great on his channel. Please show him some love. Make sure you like and subscribe to his channel after this video. Please introducing the 18th letter.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Shout out to my YouTube wifey, Kashelle, straight from the BX Bronx representing, NYC representing. What's going on, girl?
Thank you. How you doing? Like, I know you can vibe out and rock out to this one because this is something you would definitely be talking about on your stream. Like, take us back. I know you got something to say. What was your favorite cereal growing up? Watching Sunday morning or Saturday morning cartoons, or winter recess or spring recess? Like, what was your favorite, breakfast cereal cartoon saga thing like?
Well, I'm gonna take you back before we jump into that. You were just speaking about food stamps earlier, girl. I remember when we had the food stamps with the green, orange, brown, the paper food stamps.
Yeah, the purple, the blue,
blue, orange, red, green, brown. I remember when we had those food stamps that we were spending at the convenience stores, at the grocery stores and everything. We had a grocery store here. It wasn't a grocery store, but it was called Moo and Oink in Chicago, and that's where my great grandmother went and got all her beef and her pork and everything from. She got from Moo and Oink, making the collard greens with the neck bones and the ham hocks and different things like that. Everybody, all of the black folks shopped at Moo and Oink back in the day. My favorite cereal growing up, of course, was Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but I definitely grew up on the Frosted Flakes with the bananas in there. That's mostly that. Of course, Fruit Loops. I can remember, like you said, when we could not afford the name brand cereal, it was always multi-meal. They used to come in big bags. I think they still do. Instead of boxes, you can get big family bags like the Fruity O's or the Honey O's, and you knew that it was made after Honey Nut Cheerios. Let me see what they call cinnamon squares and stuff like that. It was always malto meal. Malto meal was the ones that was making all of them joints.
But not for nothing. Like, even as an adult right now, there's times I bought those cereals in the bags and you really cannot taste the difference. Like, it really tastes like the same thing. Like, it's a slight chance it may not be as sugary or as big in size, or the quality may be a little bit downgrade, but the taste really be the same.
It really do be the same. It definitely do. Coming up, I did like Jim and the Holograms. I don't know if you remember that cartoon. That was the cartoon where it was the chick with the rock band. And it was one white girl, I believe, one Latin girl and one black girl, and it was called Jim. Jim and the holograms, like Jim is truly amazing. Jim, she's truly amazing. And they had this group that was always trying to sabotage them called the Misfits. I don't know if you remember that.
That does sound familiar. I'm gonna Google that after this stream, but that just puts me in the mind of Jody and the Pussycats. I don't know why.
Yep, Josie and the Pussycats. I remember all of that.
Like
I
our
remember
culture
all
is
of
so
that.
lost. These kids right now don't know nothing about Jody and the Pussycats or nothing. Like, man,
Yeah. When I was growing up, Johnny Quest, of course, Johnny
yeah,
Quest, Captain
Rich,
Planet,
Rich,
Richie Rich. Yep, Richie Rich. I remember when they made the movie Richie Rich with Macaulay Culkin.
Captain Planet. He's a hero.
Yep. Yep. Um, as I got a little older, I can remember Gargoyles. That was another one of my favorite shows growing up. I loved
Garfield too. I used to love Garfield. Like he was such a fucking asshole.
Garfield was funny. Yeah, Garfield definitely was funny. I remember I remember Beetlejuice the cartoon. I remember Anna's Family cartoons. That was yeah, Irby Proud Family came later. I think I might have
Yeah,
already
that
been a
was definitely
teenager.
later. But I like that the fact that the girl who does the main character voice, she's still somewhat acting or in Hollywood or at least doing voiceovers or whatever the case is.
Hmm. Absolutely. Of course, as I got a little bit older, Dragon Ball Z was definitely that was my cartoon hands down. I loved Dragon Ball Z.
I never got
But
into Dragon Ball Z, but like when I had my first daughter, that was in 1998. A lot of people was into Dragon Ball Z around then, and I just never picked up on it.
yeah, I was a shorty at that time. I was a shorty, and it was dope. I loved DBZ, and that was towards the later years of cartoons because you had DBZ. My cousin, my female cousin, she loved Sailor Moon. That was her cartoon. But I can go back as far as I can remember '92 Batman the animated series, which was that was a very good show, and that was a very good show for that to be a cartoon. They was dealing with like some adult themes, and also X Men, the original X Men.
Hmm.
I didn't realize how much Wolverine hated Cyclops because he had Jean, and Cyclops was in love with Jean. So
Oh hell yeah, Scooby Doo, Jinkies, Velma, and all of them, Shaggy. Yeah, that was a good one. Like,
I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna take you back. I want to see because this was before both our time, but I watched this on reruns. Do you remember Hong Kong Fooey?
no, I
You
don't.
remember Hong Kong Fooey? It
No.
was the dog, and he used to do martial arts. And he had like a martial arts gi, like Hong Kong Fooey,
I'm gonna
number
Google
one
all this ish
Fooey
afterwards though.
guy. But you know why I remember a lot of those shows because the original Cartoon Network, before they had original series, they used to replay all of the old cartoons from back in the day. They used to replay like all of it. Yeah, yeah, Ramon. Like I still like let me see from the 80s, of course, Transformers, Thundercats,
Mighty
um,
Mouse, like
Mighty Mouse. I remember Mighty Mouse.
everybody
Um,
remember Tom and Jerry, like and Bugs
Tom
Bunny,
and Jerry was hilarious. Tom and Jerry was hilarious.
the
Every time
Road
we hear
Runner.
the Gold Runner,
Yeah, the Road Runner, that little
oh yeah, the
he
Roll
was
Runner.
mad fast. He be running everywhere mad quick.
Now this was before our time too, but I still watched it later on. Rocky and Bullwinkle. I used to
All right,
watch
I
Rocky
ain't gonna
and
front.
Bullwinkle.
I never went backwards with it. Like the most I went backwards was I think there was a cartoon called Iron Man or Iron Giant. He was like a big, tall, tin giant,
Uh-huh.
kind of like a transformer, but he wasn't a transformer. But I don't know. He was kind of like in that era, whatever the case is. I don't think I went beyond that.
You don't remember Rocky and Bullwinkle? It was like the I think Bullwinkle Rocky was the squirrel and Bullwinkle he was the moose.
I remember the name, but I can't actually remember like the content. But the name definitely sounds familiar, but I can't remember the content though.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm in
And
that
then
Pekka phase.
You know what was crazy? Because as a kid, as I got a little older, but this was later on, the messages that they'd be putting in these cartoons, like I can remember Powerpuff Girls, and
Me too. I remember them.
do you remember? You remember one of the villains in Powerpuff Girls named him? Do you remember him?
No, like I feel like I remember
Oh,
them because
man.
I had like a kid, when she was
Yeah.
watching it around that time. Like as a parent, that's why I remember it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. Him was a transformer, and it was a devil with high heels on and a dress, and they be like, "Oh no, it's him," and he'll be speaking. He'll be like, "Hi, girls." He'll sound like that. And when he got mad,
Mad
he got
creepy.
yeah. When he got mad, his voice would get deep, like real deep, like a man. He was called him. He was a transformer. The messages that they used to put in those cartoons it was crazy. But yeah, like all of the stuff from the 80s. I remember Speed Racing. That was another one of my favorite cartoons. It used to crack me up how fast they would speak. They'll be speaking really fast, like, "Hey, Speed, we must get to the vehicle right now, ASAP," and they'll be running to get to the vehicle. That was a classic as well. But so many, so many.
Yeah, like I remember like now growing up being an adult now, like seeing my mom, like when she was in her 30s and 20s, like I would see her watch like, cartoons like, Justice League and like the X-Men and like, Captain America. And I was like, Mom, like you're an adult, like why are you watching cartoons? And she was like, girl, please, what you talking about? She like, I grew up on this. She like, this is my era. She like, this ain't no cartoon. She be like, I grew up on reading these comic books as a kid. Like this ain't no cartoon to me. I'm like, Mom, like you're in your 30s. I'm like, you're too grown for that. She's like, girl, no, you did. And she's like, I want to smack you. And I was like, but you're too grown. She's like, ain't no such thing as being too grown. And now that I'm older, I'm like, all right, so I see what she's saying now because I was never a comic book kid. I didn't grow up reading comic books. I watched like, little BS cartoons, like I said in the beginning of the stream.
Yeah, I grew up reading certain comic books too, and I can remember like when my cousin he let me borrow his X-Men comic books, and it was the comic book where I think they all went against Apocalypse. And that comic book messed me up because as a kid I was like, "Hey man, all you ain't tell me it was gonna end like this. All of the X-Men got deleted. Everybody died. The only person that survived was Wolverine, and he only had one arm." so, so, so I
Yeah,
used to
it's
watch.
crazy. Like I be hearing now, like now that I'm all into like the whole Marvel. Thanks to my partner, I'm all into the Marvel universe and everything like that. Him and my mom be telling me like, everything you see on Marvel, box office film is not the same thing that happened in the comic books. And that if you're a person who read the comic books, you really know the real stories based off of, different directors' experience cuts that they put in the box office. So me, somebody who's not into reading the comics, I don't know. That shit is just entertainment to me. I don't know who really had a baby with who and who's really from Wakanda and who's really not. And you know, I don't know all of that. I just know like oh it was popping, it was a lot of action, like it was kicking ass, like oh this was interesting. Like, that's my perspective on it. But people that read the comic books from like the 80s and 70s, they know like, oh no, Storm is really from Wakanda and she lost her memory and she there and Dr. X did this. I'm like, oh really? All that happened? Because I didn't see that in the movie. So like people really take these movies like with a lot of like credit and respect too when it comes to like these old school cartoons that are now movies and it still goes back and forth with the whole Comic Con kind of thing. Like people are really into this.
And a fun fact that I'm not sure if you knew this or not, but Stan Lee has done interviews who was some of the originators of shows like the X-Men and different things like that. And what a lot of people don't know is that did you know that the X-Men was actually based off of uh black people, black Americans?
I've heard that,
Yeah.
conspiracy based thought, and I've heard that in certain circulations, but it never got publicized on like a large amount. Ramon, what are you talking about? I'm trying to be an adult getting a whooping. What are you talking about? But I've definitely heard that. I've heard people say something like Professor X representing Malcolm X and the other guy Wolverine.
No, yeah, Professor X represented Martin Luther King, and Magneto
Right.
represented Malcolm X. Yeah.
And I even heard something about all the cartoon characters or all the action figures actually black, but they only would be accepted as white, and that's why they were introduced as white. And all these superheroes were originally black, but they made them white just to actually get into film and cartoon. Like I've heard so many different theories and bases on it all, and some of it makes some sense to some point, and it's like okay. I get it, segregation, slavery and all of that definitely did play a role in it as far as when those things were initiated around those times. So that kind of does make some sense and everything like that. But it's like at this point, you would definitely think that, if that was true, you would already see some of these black characters coming to life. If that was the situation, at least by this point, it's more accepted now.
Well, Rogue was originally a black character, but they turned her white. I'm not sure about everybody else. I know they had Storm, but it was just really just based off of the mutants kind of like being the black people where they was discriminated against and attacked. And Magneto had the idea like, nah, we gonna attack back. Like, and but Professor X was more the peace type, and that's where they clashed at. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it was based. That's what it was based off of. Stan Lee definitely confirmed that, and like I said, just crazy the messages they would put in. But you saw like in the when people would find out if they was a mutant, they'd be like, "We gotta get. We don't want you mutants here. Get them out of here." So like
hmm
those was a that was very very that was very interesting. So yeah,
because I
that was,
heard even that almost in some universe, Spider-Man is a black man, and even the character that they don't use anymore, Spawn, that is a part of like DC or Marvel, one of
yes,
those
yes,
places, he's black,
yeah.
and even they were thinking about bringing Charisse into one of the movies as one of the black superheroes, but I don't know what happened with that. But like, there's another black superhero that's supposed to be introduced, soon coming out in the movie, or not that there's a date on it when it's coming out, but there's talks about another black superhero coming out, and Black Adam not doing that well as directors expected, and all these other heroes that they dropping out of sequence or back to back or whatever, like it just seems like the Marvel universe is just continuing to try to bring out more and more characters that I guess they feel like they can pull.
Yeah, well, one of my another series that I watched from the Marvel world, Luke Cage, was based off of course, Luke Cage. He was a black man in Harlem, and it was that was created in the I think the 60s or the 70s. That's an original comic book, Luke Cage, and they had
Yeah,
a
I watched that series on Netflix. I thought it was really good. I was sad they discontinued it though.
I was too. I was so mad that they did that because that was a very good series. But yeah, like so
And
let
his
me
colleague in that show, she was a really good actress too. The female that
the
Misty, remember
detective.
the black girl?
Yeah, Misty. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she was a really good, co-actress. I'm surprised I haven't seen her in nothing since.
Hmm. Yeah, and so yeah, that was a good series as well. Like, but let me see what's some other ones of my favorite cartoons um coming up. Usually, by the time Cartoon Network came about, I was watching a lot of that. I remember Bobby's World that I used to watch on Fox. Life with Louie. I remember watching that. DuckTales. How can I forget DuckTales?
Oh, I remember the Jetsons. I used to love the Jetsons. Like I was just
I used
talking
to
about
watch
this
it.
the
Like,
other day. Like I was like, remember the intros to some of these cartoons and some of your favorite shows, how the intro came on and how you would get all excited to watch the show just by hearing the theme music come on. And you would just be left there like speaking the whole words, lyric for lyric for lyric for lyric, like because you just was so into the show at the time.
yeah. Let me see what else. What else was my favorite? Um, Freakazoid. I remember Freakazoid. But do you remember? Did you ever watch the series Goosebumps?
Once in a while, it wasn't really my thing. Like I would come across it if I didn't have nothing else to watch. It wasn't a go-to for me because I read some of the books, like as a junior high, elementary kid. So
Hmm.
I wasn't really into it. Like I don't know. I guess my mind wasn't there yet. I was like, this is definitely what was it? Fiction is real and nonfiction is real. I'm like this is definitely not for me.
Yeah, that's what I used to read the books as a kid, and then I watched the series too. Once the series came out, I was definitely watching that. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Like I still remember the one where the chick with the mask, the haunted mask, she put the mask on and it was kind of making her turn evil and she couldn't get it off. That was pretty good. But yeah, so much stuff back in the day. Like when you mentioned as well, the video like Sega Genesis. And one of my favorite games on Sega Genesis when I was a kid was Streets of Rage 2. I don't know if you remember that one. Streets of Rage.
Now
We
I
had
was so poor that I didn't have a Sega Genesis or anything like that, but my little cousin did, and we kind of lived in the same apartment at some point. So whenever he
Mhm.
was home, I could play with it, but when he wasn't, I couldn't. So I had the experience close by.
Yeah, that was a great video game. I didn't have a Sega Genesis growing up. When I was growing up, I had a Super Nintendo, and at that particular time, of course, Super Nintendo was yeah, that was like Super Mario World, and that was my game. I had been playing games ever since I was a kid. George Foreman boxing, Super Double Dragon, Street Fighter 2, all of those games. I still remember when they had arcades and all of that back in the day. It was this arcade right around the corner from my school when I went to West Pullman Grammar School over on 100 and that was 119th Street. And we used to go around the corner to this place that had an arcade and it was like a little restaurant, like like a street restaurant type of food. And I used to get me French fries with mild sauce, and it only costed $1 at that time. And in that arcade, they had
Memories.
Mortal. Oh yeah, yeah. And mild sauce for us here, that's like a red sauce. It's kind of like a tangy. It's kind of like a tangy sauce, and it's delicious. It's delicious. We usually put it on our chicken at the fried chicken spots like Harold's and different places like that. And so I used to get a French fry with mild sauce, and I used to have $1 to play the arcades, and they had Mortal Kombat 2, Virtual Fighter, a pinball machine. I think some like Sega racing game. Those was the days, man. Yeah, Ramon, definitely. Yeah, Super Nintendo was the best. I got mines too. I got mines here. And Irby said Arthur. I loved Arthur. Did you ever watch Arthur?
I feel you. I feel you. That reminds me of when I was young, where I used to go to the Chinese restaurant back in the day. We would get like 4 chicken wings with pork fried rice and everything. It would be like
Mhm.
325. You have enough to get like a juice or something like that, maybe a bag of chips, and that would hold you down. Like that was the regular
Absolutely.
4 chicken wings with pork fried rice. That'd be like 325. You maybe get like a juice and probably like a cookie or some chips, and you'd be set for lunch. But not
Yeah,
no more.
absolutely. No, no, I used to get the same. I used to go to the Chinese restaurant. I don't know how it is in New York, but all of the Chinese restaurants here called chop suey. And I used to go to this restaurant called Number One Chop Suey. Uh, and I would get like I believe it was 3 chicken wings. It was 3 chicken wings. They came in there, and either shrimp fried rice or beef fried rice with an egg roll. And that was good. I used to eat that all the time. And then like after getting tired of that for a while, then I used to go to the Jamaican spot and get beef patties. But sometimes you had to catch them because sometimes I go in there like we don't have any beef patties today. I'm like, God damn, you ain't got nothing. So I came in here.
Uh-huh. That's before the Golden Crush days. And shout out to Ramon too, cause that Super Nintendo was lit. I remember my little cousin, the same cousin I was talking about earlier. He had a Super Nintendo, and I think it already came with like I think one cartridge in it. and I think that
Mm-hmm.
cartridge
Yep.
had
Super
Donkey
Mario
Kong
World.
in it. Super Mario, and it has Donkey Kong in it, and oh, that game was so fun playing Yoshi and everything was so lit. I remember those days.
Mm-hmm. Those was the days, man. And like it was so fun being a kid back then. It was so fun being a kid. I remember I remember all of that stuff, man. And we were just
These
talking
kids today,
earlier.
they ain't kids, they little adults and grown and little kids' bodies.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what reminded me of being a kid because I was watching an old video. Because I can remember kids wearing the high top fades with the part in their head and the Nikes and like the different Nike shoes with the Air Max bubbles and stuff and starter jackets. You remember that?
Yeah,
That
I
took me
definitely
back
do
to
remember that for sure. Even the
oh
girls with like the OPP jackets and the Reeboks and the 5411s and the New Balance and the Elises with the big
hmm
bangs and the big berets and the big crunchy socks and the loud,
hmm
colorful lipsticks and outfits and handbags and all that to match. I remember those days.
absolutely, absolutely. And one thing that made me think back to that, I was watching old videos the other day. You remember another bad creation? I saw that video. Aisha, you are the girl that I never had, and I want
Uh-huh.
to get to know you better. I was watching. I was like, man, I was like, that's me when I was a kid.
Yo, you remember the Super Soaker days? Remember when they came out with the Super Soakers that you could put on your back?
Yep, I
Fill up
remember
the
Super
with
Soaker.
water. Oh man, those were the best days. When they had the super soaker, you could go outside and have the
hmm
Johnny Punk front and fill up your super soakers when you finish. You're running outside. Like we really had active athletic things to do without it being electronic or internet or social media based at all. Like we had
Right.
natural fun.
Um. Also, opening the fire hydrants up. Like everybody be playing in the fire hydrant. I remember that. Block parties. As a
Shout out to
kid.
Jose. Shout out to Jose. Yeah, block parties was lit. All the free hot dogs, juices,
hmm
music all night. Like you be musty as hell by the end of the night.
playing Mr. Freeze, man. We used to
Skelsies,
play
hopscotch, basketball, double
mhm.
dutch.
And we used to play Mr. Freeze from like for 2 blocks. So it'd be getting close to nighttime. You chase somebody in the alley and you tag them and they have to stay froze. So somebody came and untagged. You stand in the alley like, is anybody gonna come? I've been standing here for like the last 5 minutes. You just like when I ain't playing no
Exactly.
more, you just go
I
walk
ain't
out.
like that game. Like, nah. Like, chill, chill. Like, I was definitely like a red light, green light, 1, 2, 3 kind of girl, or red rover, or tag. Like, that was my joint
hmm
right there, or manhunt.
Oh yeah, yeah, tag definitely.
And red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. That that was my shit again. I love that shit.
hmm So yeah, those was like man. When I look back on that, let me see what else. What other cereal was I eating? Of course, Lucky Charms, corn pops. I love corn pops too. Honeycomb. I'm still a big cereal dude, man. I don't eat it as much as I used to, but every once in a while, if it's a new flavor, I'll try it. Berries, Captain Crunch berries, uh, Captain Crunch, the peanut butter crunch, all of that stuff, man. I used to like all of that.
Everybody's talking about how you were singing along. Like, I knew this song, but I was just letting you rock. I didn't want to interrupt your flow.
Oh no, no, no! Go right ahead.
They like, oh, he
Like,
was thinking about himself. Like, it wasn't nothing personal. Like, you was in the moment.
yeah, that was my joint. I looked at that because ain't nothing like nostalgia. Because I don't know with the way things going today, you always want to look back and reflect on when it was a little bit more of a simpler time. That was my joint. Another
Sure.
bad creation. They was like kind of the kid Bell Biv DeVoe. I think Mike Bibbins was actually the one that discovered him. So yeah, definitely.
For sure.
That
I
was
feel
the
like
day.
now cereal now is BS right now. They got so much junk in this cereal. It's like, man, that's crack, coke, dope, everything. Like y'all can be feeding that to kids. Like this cereal's on like 80 grams of sugar per box. Like people don't read the nutrition facts on the back of the box. It's like this cereal be loaded with so much crap. Like, you gotta keep it simple. Like, they got Ninja Turtles, superheroes, all kind of diamonds, frosted, chocolate chips, fruits, berries, extra this, extra that. It's like, y'all trying to have these niggas knocked out? Like, what are y'all trying to
Yeah.
do these kids? Like, the hell? Like, even the
High
damn nutrient
fructose
grade bars are
corn
70
syrup.
bars.
Yeah. Blue, but you look on the back, blue 2 and red 5. You like, what the hell is this? I don't even know what this is.
Xanax or XANATHM. Like, what is that? Like, hold on, gum, like chewing gum. Like, what kind of gum they talking about?
Right. So yeah, those was the days, man. Do you remember Where's Carmen San Diego?
Oh yes, have
I
another
used to
discount
get
drop.
mad that they can never catch her because I'm like, she's the bad guy. Y'all supposed to catch her, but that was the show.
Good evening, Jose.
Good evening, Cash Out. Thank you for allowing me on your platform. Good evening, Rakim.
Shout out to Jose.
Yeah, you
So,
like to add anything to the conversation? We're talking about our favorite cereals growing up as a kid, our favorite cartoons, and fun kid times, activities, and things like that.
well, one of my favorite was actually, believe it or not, was Peanut Butter Crunch. As far as cereals concerned,
Okay.
okay, because kids they love all that sugary stuff. I mean, the more sugar, the better. That was before we knew about things like diabetes and what have you, and having to eat properly, eat healthy. All we wanted was sugar, 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 sugar. And of course, I was a kid in the '60s and the '70s.
What was the name brand popular cereals in the 60s and 70s? Like, what was the expensive or the really good cereals back then in your time?
Of course, you always had corn flakes. You always have frosted flakes, and I believe we also have Raisin Bran.
Oh, okay, it was no sugary marshmallow infused or
That was more like in the '70s.
okay. Well, what about the brands? Was it like still Kellogg's and General Mills or
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was General Mills, it was Kellogg's, and then in the '70s you have all sorts of these sugary, like um, blueberry chocolata. I'm trying to think. It seems like Lucky Charms. So it seems like every cereal had like some marshmallows to make it all sugar more sugary than ever.
what about the hot cereals? A lot of people sleep on the hot cereals. I feel like we're about to get into Jose's favorite time of the year, where it's like brrr, freezing for that got cold. What about the hot cereals? Like, were you like a cream of wheat tina, oatmeal kind of person? Like,
Oh,
did you have that kind of? I know in Spanish they call it something else, but you know what I mean, right? The hot
yeah,
cereals.
yeah. I mean, I was into farina, oatmeal, and that's about it. And of course, in my day when I was a kid, winter was winter. We had a nice, cool winter with the temperatures in the teens, and
Oh, Jose, you're gonna drag this with the winter. Look at you already. The winters were real then, and now we don't have winter ever, according to you.
oh come on, we didn't have winter at all last year. We didn't have one day when
Jose,
the
it was
temperature.
a whole snowstorm in Buffalo. Like people died. Why you keep saying that?
Okay, but that's Buffalo. I'm talking about New York City.
We don't need they smoke. If Buffalo had it, we had it. We the same county. They just up and we're south.
Yeah, but you're forgetting my definition of winter is a little different.
Yeah, you mean amputation of body parts. That's what you mean when you say winter.
I mean, technically, it doesn't even get chilly until it gets below 20 degrees.
Yo, I feel like when it's that cold, they should cancel work and you should still get paid for it. Like it's too cold.
There's no such thing as too cold. No,
I
I'll take it back. I remember one place in Jersey where I was at. It was so cold that I had to even put on my coat. And you know how much I love cold. So if I had to put on my coat because I felt cold, it was cold.
Yeah, if you put on your coat, it was definitely cold. Rakim, I want to ask you, were you into like the hot cereals as well, like cream of wheat, wheat tina, oatmeal? Like, was that your thing, or were you more of a cold cereal kind of person?
Yes, I was into the hot cereals as well. I loved them both. The cream of wheat. I think was it Uncle Ben's cream of wheat? No, it was the cream of wheat guy with the chef had the cream of wheat, porridge, and oatmeal. I loved it all. Grits too. Grits for breakfast. Yes, give me some bacon, eggs, and grits. I'm straight. Yeah. So I loved it all. Like the cream of wheat, the porridge, especially if it was like apple cinnamon porridge and oatmeal. Even to this day, I love me some oatmeal, peaches and cream, strawberries and cream, blueberries and cream. I literally try to make it myself because I use almond milk. And I'll make my oatmeal, get me some fresh peaches, slice it up in there, add me some cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom, brown sugar, and some vegan butter. Add my flaxseed and my chia seeds to it as well, just to make sure I get some type of nutrients. I'm kind of killing it with the brown sugar and the butter, but hey,
Yeah, I feel you. Like we always trying. Like I haven't got a chance to really understand how to really properly infuse like chia seeds, flax seeds, and those kind of seeds into oatmeal without actually tasting them. So I gotta still work on that. But I do have them on hand. I've definitely picked them up in like Whole Foods and Trader Joe's and stuff like that. And I know they definitely have a lot of extra additive nutrients for people that are vegan and pescatarian like myself. So it's definitely helpful because I'm not always getting that high protein intake because I'm not eating red meat and poultry on a regular basis. But even outside of that, it's very good for the body and everything like that for many different reasons for sure.
oh yeah, Irby, definitely, definitely, I'm with you 100% on that one, brother. Yeah, so I like all of that stuff, man, and so yeah, I was definitely into the hot cereals as well. But when I can remember going to school, we used to have something here in Chicago called the Super Donuts. And it used to be a risk behind going to get those because like some kids used to like to hang outside like and in front of the school before school started because you could go get breakfast. And they used to have like of course the sausage and eggs and the super donuts, but it was a catch. If you went into lunch to get breakfast, you had to stay in there. You couldn't go back out until the bell rung for you to go back to class. So sometimes you used to have to ask if it was worth the risk. And yes, it was because the super donuts was warm. They was like hot and they was in a plastic bag, like a clear little packaging. And it was the whole
I
packaging.
remember those. It had like an
Yeah.
old lady on the front package, or whatever the case is.
I'm not sure. I don't think they had the old lady on the front because it was like a regular
But
it
did
was,
it
it was
smell real good when you open up the
yeah,
package?
yes,
Oh,
it was
I
like a
remember
brown
those.
donut.
That was free lunch in New York City in the 1980s. You had those
Yeah.
for breakfast. Those just was slamming.
Yep, and you stick it in, and you stick the hot donut in your milk, and then you eat it that way. And it's been a couple of times I used to be like, yeah, how I'm gonna sneak back out to get back into the front of the school.
Oh,
'Cause
wow.
they used to have a security guard watching the door, like, no, you can't. So it's been a couple of times I see he wasn't paying attention, or he'll go see what a lunch lady wanted, and I'll just sneak back out and then go back to the front of the school. So yeah,
Well,
those was the
I had
Yeah,
days.
we
to.
all had to figure that out. When it was really real, and we had to do like you want your breakfast ticket, you want to eat breakfast, that.
Lunch tickets. We
You want to
definitely
swap
had
this
lunch
out, you
tickets.
want this, and I give you that.
Yep, I had a lunch ticket. I remember when Mayor Daley came to our school. And for people that know, Mayor Daley, he was the mayor in Chicago for years. Mayor Daley Jr. His dad was senior, who was also the mayor like in the 70s. I remember when he came to our school, and it's crazy because you don't know nothing. They was like, they go Mayor Daley. I'm like, who is that? They was like, he's the mayor of Chicago.
Wow. When you were a kid, you don't know no better though, so you get to pass on that one.
So yeah, he came and did a speech and everything, and
I wanted to highlight this comment, not to cut you off, him. Ramon said he had oatmeal or porridge made out of corn flour. The way it's made in PR is the best. Like that sounds interesting.
it
I've
sounds
never even
good.
thought about that before.
Yeah, that sounds good too.
The first time I actually tried grits, it was like I didn't know how to react to it because it's like, I mean, it's a little bit different. You know, I mean, not many Latinos know what grits is, so it's like something a little bit of the ordinary. That's right, Ramon. Don't lose your cool. So
Yeah, for sure. But I don't know. I feel like, now that I'm a mom, I have like, a grown daughter, a daughter that's about to be grown and everything. Like I'm really tapping into how important breakfast is. And, despite, what I grew up eating for breakfast, like sometimes it takes me back to those memories of, when I was a kid and, what my breakfast looked like, growing up. And, I guess what my mom's breakfast looked like and what my dad's breakfast looked like growing up versus now it's like something we repeat by nature and culture and everything because we saw it, so we know that's a go-to safe plan as far as rules and breakfasts and some kind of life hacks whatever the case is. But I'm like, wow, like my favorite breakfast to make, outside of all that, is always French toast. Like French toast is like my favorite breakfast. Like everyone has waffles and pancakes and bacon, egg, and cheese, but my favorite breakfast is French toast. Like if I can have my favorite breakfast, it would always be French toast all the time. Like I would never pick waffles or pancakes or a bacon, egg, and cheese or a turkey, egg, and cheese or any kind of sandwich, whatever the case is. Like that's my go-to, and like I feel like that's my go-to because low key, like that's something I always saw my mom eat. Always saw her cut up her French toast into like these little squares and pour her syrup on it to like drench the bread down to like, ridiculous amount of sugar. But like it's the memories like, okay, so when I want to make my favorite breakfast and I'm thinking about myself and I'm gonna make breakfast for the families, like I want those things. But like there's no store that got like banging French toast or like everyone's doing chicken and waffles or pancakes and waffles, but there's no like breakfast spots doing like, banging French toast. They have like the inflated French toast or like, the Belgian waffle French toast. But I don't know. I just feel like certain things are hit and miss, when it comes to all these generations from like, the cereal we had when we were young to the cereal we have now. So what like breakfast looks like now breakfast and dinner is a thing. Now for dinner to have chicken and waffles is an actual thing. But back in our time that was not a thing. Like breakfast was waffles and chicken was dinner. But now
well,
chicken and waffles is a breakfast and a dinner.
Dominicans they eat mango for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Actually, not maybe not lunch, but definitely breakfast and dinner.
I've heard that so much. Is that like a banana mango? What is that again? That's like a
Okay,
porridge?
basically, but mango, what it is boiled plantains that that gets smashed, and then they eat it with salami, and they eat it with I mean with salami. Sometimes they'll eat it with eggs. Sometimes they'll eat it with onions and what have you. It's been a long time since I eaten mango. The last time I ate mango is when I was married to my ex-wife.
It must be good though. I hear so many people talk about mango. I'm gonna try it one day.
Yeah.
What you were saying about chicken and waffles, this is gonna sound crazy, Cashel. The only time I've ever heard of chicken and waffles, people eating it, was when I watched that episode of Martin when he opened up that restaurant serving chicken and waffles, and that's all they had.
Lying.
Yeah, I was a kid. because I didn't even know those went together, but I didn't know that was a staple either. Like it's been a lot of people that's been eating chicken and waffles for God knows how long. Because Roscoe's in Los Angeles, Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles is a spot. But that was the only time I ever heard it. Like that was the first time I heard of it as a kid. When he opened up that restaurant serving chicken and waffles, and I think they ran out of chicken and waffles too.
They did in the episode. That brings me to think about. I was so excited, like for like my 39th birthday. I went to Atlanta to visit my mom and have a birthday thing go down there, whatever the case is. And I was so thirsty to go to the Waffle House because in New York we have IHOP. We got like these little diners, but we don't have like Denny's and waffles, chicken and waffles. We don't have Waffle Houses. Like we don't have that. We have like IHOPs. We don't have like all those other different kind of breakfast spots. So long story short, I was like so thirsty to go to the Waffle House because I always see like the rappers I follow or people I follow, or from movies and TV. I always see the Waffle House, Waffle House, Waffle House. I'm like, right, I want to go to Waffle House when I get down there. So the first day I get down there, I get to the Waffle House. First of all, have y'all heard of the Waffle House before I go on? Are y'all fans of the Waffle House? Been to that Waffle House?
Yeah, I've ate at the Waffle House. They have them all over. Like
But in the north, we don't got Waffle Houses. We got IHOPs. We got a bunch of IHOPs. We don't got Waffle House. We don't got Denny's. Denny's is more like Long Island, like maybe Staten Island. Like Denny's is not in the city. It's not in the five boroughs. It's not. We don't see Denny's like that. We got DQs in certain areas of the city, but like we don't have all those restaurants, all over the place in the city specifically. Some of those places are like in the outskirts, like Long Island, Staten Island, maybe Queens. They're not like in the heart of the city.
Yeah, we don't have Waffle House here, but I've eaten Waffle House when I've been on the road. We have Denny's and IHOPs here as well. Like and Denny's is all over, IHOPs is all over here. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So it's like the same. So
Yep.
I was mad thirsty to go to Waffle House. I'm like, oh my God. Like I always see like, I think ATL, like all the Southern people, they be in the Waffle House. And since my mom moved to Georgia, I'm like, she goes to the Waffle House and going to get breakfast and everything like that. So I'm like, you know what? I want to experience the Waffle House. Mind you, like I used to be a meat eater. Like I'm a pescatarian, so I don't eat like regular meat. I just eat like seafood, whatever case is. But anyway, long story short, like, before hearing about the Waffle House, like I was a meat eater, so like I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to Waffle House. They gonna have like all kind of good food and everything because I hear everybody talk about it. I was so disappointed. Like I don't know what you guys think about the Waffle House. I don't know if I just soup myself up, but I was like so disappointed about the Waffle
It's
House.
mediocre. It's mediocre.
Yeah, like it was nothing to really talk about, like nothing to really have a conversation about. Like the food was very basic, watered down, kind of cafeteria style. Like it didn't really have like no personal spices or love in it. It was just really like next, next, next. Like like it was. I don't know what I was looking for, but I guess I just hyped myself up being in New York because like, oh, like I'm going down to the country where they got all the whole southern animals and the yard of food right there. They growing everything and everything tastes more better. Everything's more kosher. Everything's more preserved. Like I guess I just souped myself up to think that because I was going south, I was gonna get like a different kind of experience and like, things were gonna taste more like real or whatever the case is. But I was really disappointed by the Waffle House. I'm like, all right, I ordered what I could considering, what my diet was. I think I ordered like, I think grits with gravy and like cheese and the biscuits and everything. And, something without no meat or whatever the case is. But my grits and gravy had like some kind of pork beef sauce and pieces of beef in it. And everything just tastes like free lunch. I was like, wow, I was this thirsty for this. I was disappointed. Like I could have went to IHOP for this.
I think one of the reasons as well, like the reason why everybody like Waffle House or talk about it is because it's one of those places that's open after people leave the clubs and stuff, and people always go to Waffle House. If you look, if you see on the internet, a lot of fights break out in Waffle House in certain areas because there's a lot of people that's going there after after they leave the club and different things like that. But no, the food is kind of mid. We got places here in Chicago way better than Waffle House. Like,
yeah, I was like, Waffle House was like, it was like a bucket list kind of thing. Like I went to Cascade. I was thirsty to see Cascade because I'm a big fan of the movie ATL. I'm a big fan of T.I. and Lauren London and everything. So I wanted to see what Cascade looked like. And again, when I was in Atlanta, I went to Cascade. I'm like, man, this shit is run down busted. Like I was driving through there. It was like some young teenagers who was hanging out in front. Like they was ice grilling me. Like, homie, what you want? Homie, what you looking at? Son, get up out of here, we bust your ass. Like, like I was out there looking like it looked really run down. Like you tell like the movies and directors like they really made it look more than what it really is in real life. Because I was like, wow, this is nothing like what I be giving props to when I watch this movie on TV.
I've never been to the Waffle House, so I really have no idea. I don't know if there's any Waffle Houses here in New York. I mean, I've been to IHOP a couple of times. And believe it or not, I actually eat for dinner on Fridays of Lent pancakes because I observe Lent.
Right. We don't have Waffle House in New York, Jose. It's more like, a southern thing or like, like the rural area kind of thing. Like we don't have it up here. Like it's something you'll find like, below New York.
Oh, okay.
But we do have like here with us having such a large black population as far as people coming from the South, we have things that are similar. And it's a place over on the low end, on the near South Side called Kingsbury Waffles. And it has very good seasoned chicken that you can order with your waffles, all types of food there. I mean, like as far as breakfast food, catfish and grits, different things like that. And it is delicious. It is definitely delicious.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, I feel like most people when they travel or when they go out and about, like we all want to experience different kinds of food that we probably don't have any experience with, see what our taste buds say to it, and if it's something we want to like come home and like recreate or re-enhance for dinner with the family, whatever the case may be, possibly depending on what your experience may be. But I find that like when I go out and travel, whether it's south, north, out of the country, whatever the case is, I'm always excited to see like what the food's gonna taste like, what the culture's gonna look like, what the way of life looks like, And I was hella disappointed. I'm like, you know what, my mom told me she's like, it depends on the parts of Atlanta you go to. She was like, different parts of Atlanta, they have better food, although it's the same franchise, same company. She was like, different areas, the quality of food is different. She was like, the common areas where everyone bum rush, the food is really not that good. But the areas that's like, further out, like out of reach, like, they'll have a better experience. I'm like, I guess that kind of makes some sense, I guess, maybe. But I was like, I don't know what else I'm looking forward to whenever I go back down there. But Atlanta was dope though. Just to recap on Atlanta, my experience going down here, like in August, going to Atlanta, it was really nice. Again, I saw Cascade. I went to the Waffle House, prior to that last experience, and it definitely looks like a little bit of New York, New Jersey to me at this point. Like it definitely doesn't look that country to me anymore. Like I see a lot of Black, brown, and Latino people down here all over, and yeah, it definitely looks like the type of area that, will be, looking like a New York, New Jersey, maybe a Philly kind of area.
Actually, when I was in Philadelphia earlier this year, I actually tried their Philly cheesesteak, famous cheesesteak, and I was a little disappointed because it's like basically it's a shredded beef.
Hi, Ramon. Sorry.
Hey, Kichel. Hey, fellas. What's going on?
Hey, Ramon. How you doing? Guess what? It is now 96 days until the first day of winter.
I'm gonna lose my cool if you don't stop with the with the winter talk. It's too soon. It's too soon. We're still in September.
It is getting a little bit chilly though. Like today was definitely like a denim jacket day. No t-shirt.
No, today was a beautiful summer day.
No, it wasn't a summer day. I mean, here it went down to 85 degrees, so one can still sweat if you go outside a little bit.
No, we didn't have. We had sun today, but we didn't feel it. We felt the breeze in the air.
Oh,
Okay.
tonight is good sleeping weather to go to open up the windows wide and let the cool air in.
That's true.
Well,
Like my brother.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know because down here this is still in the 80s. So I mean, it's not that cool yet. And thankfully, if hopefully it stays like that for a long time, a very long time. Maybe
Well,
one day or two that it gets cold in February. I guess that's okay. I can put up with that. But after that, no, no
well,
snow, no hail, none of that shit.
well. Right now it's 62 degrees, so it's summer-like.
Okay. Well, you know how different it is down here. I mean,
Like
it's
I
been
said,
like,
like I
yeah.
said, Ramon, you
No,
come up to New York in
no,
the wintertime. I'll
no,
come.
winter time. No. Maybe at the Puerto Rican Day Parade, but that's in June. I mean, if people don't forget about it, because now they're saying that June, the whole month of June is Rainbow Pride Month, and you remember how in June there were drumming it in the media and time again, June being Pride Month. I mean, like, what is it? Why a whole month? That's not an accomplishment. Uh, but
Well,
Speaking.
let me not get carried away with that. I don't want your stream taken down. But you were saying you were talking about back in the day with the cereals and all of that. Unfortunately, I didn't have much of a choice in that. I only had Tony the Tiger. That's all I had. Hmm. Because I didn't have a
But
say in
he
that.
was great.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
I actually like Tony the Tiger
And,
though.
I had the ones that came out in the little boxes. You know, there will be a package with 8 boxes of that. That's all I could get. I couldn't
Yeah.
get more of that. Hmm. Yeah, they will
Yeah, I
ration that
grew up
shit
in a
on me.
house where sometimes the adults were eating the cereal. So although I was the only kid in the house, I may have gotten crumbs of the cereal because the grown ass adults were eating the cereal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and drinking the damn juice boxes too.
And the
No.
milk too. Like ain't no kids in the house. Like, so when I moved, they like put some water in that shit. Like, put some water. Like, oh hell no.
The hell no,
Um,
man. Drinking the damn Capri Suns. These Capri Suns supposed to be mines. Mondos. Remember Mondo juices? Let me see what else. I remember the Kool-Aid juices with the when they used to have like the Kool-Aid faces on them. Like they came in like those little bottles, plastic bottles, and they had the Kool-Aid face on them. Those was good. And also, do you guys remember they brought this soda back? It used to be a soda called Surge. You guys remember that?
No.
Nah, I remember the CNCs. That's when you would have food stamps, so you didn't have a lot of money. They have like cheap 3 liter, cheap 2 liter sodas in every flavor from root beer to like pineapple, crazy colors.
Yeah, but it was never the same thing. It was kind
Yeah,
of
but
like
it had a lot of
the
acid in it.
discount. Yeah, it was the discount version of
Yeah,
the,
it was a no name no
the
version.
dollar store, the dollar store version of it. Yeah.
If it was a family birthday party or a barbecue, you was getting them drinks though.
Yeah, that's all there was. That's all there
guys,
was.
would you believe? When I was in the DR, my ex-wife actually gave me a pork chop to eat for breakfast.
For what?
Give
A
me
pork
what?
chop for what?
Pork chop for breakfast.
A pork chop.
I was being
Well, I
asked,
know about you were just.
what the hell?
I know that you were talking about the mango thing. I know that because they will eat the mango with a fried egg and the salami and it's actually really good. It's not bad
I
for
just need
breakfast. It's not bad.
the meatless version of it. Like I'm all for it, but it sounds like it sounds like you have to eat it with some kind of meat to really get the flavor and the taste of
No,
it.
you can eat it with eggs. You can eat it with cheese.
Yeah,
Okay.
with slices of white cheese. Yeah.
Yes.
The next time I go to one of the Cuchi Fritos or like one of the little El Castillos, I'm gonna call y'all and ask y'all what to order.
No, the other thing that that I was talking about because in Puerto Rico the way that I don't know if they make the same thing where you guys at, but if you check it out, if there are any places like a bakery, Puerto Rican bakery, where they make the fresh bread in the morning, the way that that we make it in the on the island. There is usually a bakery, and they may sell breakfast too, and they will have the oatmeal and the corn porridge. If they have that, I recommend that you try it the way they make it. I mean, because it's different. It's different. It's not
Yeah, I
like
never
the
heard of that.
same.
That sounded different. That's why I highlighted it in the chat because I was like, I wonder if anybody else know what he's talking about because that sounds different.
Yeah. But any place where they have kind of like the Puerto Rican breakfast, if you know a place like that, ask about it. Ask about it. The Puerto Rican style oatmeal, the way the Puerto Ricans make it, and the way the we make the corn porridge, look, we what we call crema de maíz, which is corn cream. I mean,
Mm.
that's what I will recommend because it's really good. The way that we make it is really good. Now, I don't know about the old funche. I don't know if Jose knows what I'm talking about. There used to be called something called funche, which is also for breakfast, and it's also made out of the corn flour. But it's an old thing. It's an old thing. Maybe
You know what? I don't think my mother, God rest her soul, made that for breakfast.
yeah, because it's an old thing. My grandma made it. My grandma made it for me because the way that it was done, it was the on a kind of like a large pot. You will pour in I don't know how many ounces of milk, and I don't know how many kind of like ounces of corn flour, and then you will
You're not
boil
giving
it.
us no details, Ramon. Like, so we wanted to try to whip this up. We would just know we would not know what to do. You're not giving us none of that.
No, but what you do is that you will boil the milk and you will learn the corn flour to absorb the milk, and what remains is kind of like it kind of hardens up, but it's still soft enough that you eat it as a porridge, and then you serve it and you can pour some milk over it, and
That
maybe you
sounds
can.
like wheat tina, what we eat sometimes, or some people eat out here. It's like some black people eat that. It's called wheat tina. Like you can taste the grains in it. Like it doesn't transform that much when you boil it. It's like you can taste everything. It looks like in soft grains. So when you boil it into big grains.
Okay. No, it's just that it hardens up, and you stir it around, and what remains, you serve that, and you can pour some milk over it to kind of like a kind of an accompaniment, accompanamiento. I don't know the word in English, but you can put some milk on top of it, and you have to add a little bit of salt when you're cooking it. But that's an old thing. That's something that my grandma used to make, but I've never had it again since she passed. Hmm. And I don't know if people in New York remember that. The diaspora Puerto Ricans, I don't know if they remember that. So that will be
They
kind of like
probably
for the
do when
older
they
folk.
go home to their land and they see what their family are eating and drinking, and they probably remember it then, but they probably don't incorporate it.
Yeah. No, I don't know if on the island many people remember that either, because that's such an old thing. Yeah.
I have heard of the oatmeal and the porridge, the Puerto Rican oatmeal and the porridge. A lot of people do that here. I've never had it though.
No, you should try it. You should try it. It's different.
Oh, it
It's
sounds
different.
good. Anything that's called cream of corn, and
Mhm.
that sounds like that's pretty delicious.
Yeah,
Mhm,
I've been
mhm.
to office parties where like somebody will make a cornbread and it has like corn inside of it, like actual corn, but it tastes creamy and sweet. I don't know if that's a Spanish thing or an African or Jamaican thing, but I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had cornbread like that as
Mm.
well here, and it goes real good with greens. Definitely.
All that juice soaks it nice and real, sultry, wholesome, soul food.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, when it comes to what you will call soul food, I've had some of the southern food down here, particularly when I was in Mississippi. I remember having kind of like the kind of like the baked baked macaroni with cheese, but it kind
Oh
of like it was
yeah,
kind of like
Ramon.
baked, and the green bean casserole, devil's eggs, and
I'm
the
hungry. I could think of
meatballs
it right now
with
hearing
the
this.
barbecue sauce.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, meatballs with the barbecue sauce, and trying to remember what else.
Hey Ramon, how long did you live down in Mississippi? I know you lived down there for some time.
I lived there 5 years, and those were
Oh, okay.
kind of like holiday work lunches that I had, and that's where I tried those things.
Is there a
Oh,
lot
okay.
of black people down there?
Yeah, yeah, because I was living down on the coast. Yeah, there were
I
Black
wasn't
Americans
sure like
there.
how the geography changed, over time. I was just asking out of curiosity.
Ah,
Oh, you talking about
no,
like
I
in
mean,
Mississippi? Oh, that's where
mm,
most of the black people are. Like as far as like
yeah,
down
yeah,
down south and everything. The funny thing is when me and my cousin visited Mississippi as kids, he hated it. Well, I don't know, it's because the way our family did things down there. He got well, we both got whooped with a switch for playing in our
yeah,
church.
because it was still the old school. I will still hear people talking about the people coming out of a trailer park talking about that they were also beaten and they were whipped with belts and things like that. They were disciplined. Oh, they were
Yeah.
disciplined. That whole corporate punishment thing, they will they will do it. They will do it.
Yeah.
But it's a kind of like uh, at least a part of Mississippi was really quiet. A lot of trailer parks, kind of underdeveloped. Like it could do better. I mean, but it's kind
I,
of boring. It's kind of like for people that are in the military, because I remember there was the Navy base, the Army base. I don't remember if there was an Air Force base there,
Is that
but
where
that
Emmett Till had one too?
the what?
Is that where Emmett Till had one too?
yeah, Emmett Till went to Money, Mississippi.
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah, he was in Money, Mississippi.
Mm.
That's where that happened. Yeah. But yeah,
yeah.
when we went down there, it was my cousins and all of them, they hated it. They was like, man, we got to get back to Chicago.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, but because it's like, nah, yeah, it's quite a downgrade if you are from a city, when you
mm,
are actually from a developed urban city, and then all of a sudden you go to Mississippi, like it's a bit of a
hey,
shock.
hey, get this, Ramon. One guy ran into on Fighter's channel, right? He
Huh.
was from Mississippi. And then I told him because I was like, man, most of the people in Chicago, like I was like the African Americans in Chicago, a lot of us descend from Mississippi and Alabama and Memphis. And
Mm-hmm.
then he was like, yeah, he was like, I was like, my family's from Mississippi. And then he was like, well, what part? I was like, Belzoni, Mississippi. And he was from
Mm-hmm.
neighboring Tulip. And then he was like, I lived in Belzoni. He was like, hey man, what's your last name? Put it in the back chat. So I put it in the back chat. He was like, man, I know your family, man. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, get out of here. He was like, you got an uncle? Your uncle's name Benny? I was like, yeah, that's my great uncle. And he was like, yo, you got a cousin named Derek? I was like, yeah. Then we call him Mudbone. He was like, yeah, I know your family, dude. Your Uncle Benny drive trucks, don't he? I was like, yup. He like, man, I know your family, man. You got good people. You come from a good people now.
All right.
I was like, get
Wow,
out of here,
that's so
man.
fire.
Yeah,
Well,
I was like, they've been down there in ages though. Like, I mean, decades. I ain't been down to Mississippi. But I was
Yeah.
like, get out of here.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah. I was in Mississippi a couple of years ago, visiting a couple of friends that I still have there. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Don't say I'll be
I
quiet.
think Jose want to say something, Ramon, when you get a chance.
yeah. Actually, next month I'm gonna be traveling to Kansas City for an extended weekend.
Mm. Ah, good, good. Yeah, so you say so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You mentioned something about it being something about your church.
It's a Christian conference, but so basically it's from Friday to Sunday, but I'm gonna be coming there Thursday, so that way I can do a little sightseeing and try
Mhm.
the cuisine over there.
Mhm.
You going to Kansas City, Kansas, Jose, or Kansas City, Missouri?
Kansas City, Kansas. So I'll be flying into Kansas City, Missouri, and then traveling to Kansas City, Kansas.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought there was only one Kansas City.
No,
No,
it's right there on the borderline of each other. The Kansas City, Kansas is across the state line into Kansas, and Kansas
Uh,
City, Missouri is on the opposite of that state line. They right next to each other. It's kind of weird.
well,
oh,
there's I'm trying to think. There's a couple cities like there's Springfield, Massachusetts, Springfield, Illinois, Springfield. So the cities that have like that that they share a name with other states. So it's not all that odd.
No, well, the only thing like it's kind of odd because both of those cities, Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri, are adjacent. It's just
Yeah,
one is on the opposite side of Kansas and on the opposite state line of Kansas, and the other one is in Missouri, and they right next to each other. That's you don't see that every day.
that's true.
Mhm.
What I love to travel because I like to go visit other cities, especially when I travel by myself. Because when I go to my hotel, I can set the climate control according to my specifications, so I don't have to worry about.
yeah. You mean you would rather be in a? You might as well just get on a in a meat locker or something, and that's gonna be your specification. That's the only thing
Oh,
that would be good
come
enough.
on!
That's the only thing that would be good enough for your specification. Just walk into the hotel's meat locker, and you'll be fine then.
Oh, come on now.
Jose,
Making it.
you got money. You always flying out hotels, first class, Airbnb,
Yeah.
spas, saunas, living your best. Like you got money. What you doing on the side?
Ah,
Are you trying? Okay, are you trying to? Are you what was the reason for the question? I mean, is it for some sort of purpose?
I'm just being silly. Like
Yeah,
you living your
those
best life.
jokes.
No, no,
they're trying to get you to snitch on yourself.
no. But actually, as far as I have a Delta Sky Miles account, so I earn enough
Ah,
miles that I can travel first class.
oh, first class and all, not like the rest
I've
of
never
us.
flown first class. Like that's goals.
I've
Yeah,
only
yeah,
been on the airplane once in my life.
because you don't
Okay,
want to.
okay.
You
Actually,
don't. It's not important.
let me explain the difference between coach and first class.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Uh,
He's gonna rub it in. Go on.
the seats are wider.
Uh huh.
You are the first ones to board the plane and the first one to leave.
Right.
Instead of giving you peanuts and other stuff that you have to pay for, they actually give you real food on real
Cam
plates.
up, King. Cam up, King. Sorry, somebody trying to pop on the panel, and I don't know who it is. Cam up, King. Cam up.
Yeah. So, and of course, you have a
Yeah, you can
flight
have a drink
attendant.
too, like a real drink, drink complimentary. Because I did have a chance to to get back to Mississippi in first class. I did have a chance getting out of Puerto Rico. I was upgraded because of a misplacement on the seats, and they put me on an available seat, the first class. So, yeah, and you get a menu, and you can get something to eat that you can choose from a menu. So it's all right.
And I also requested a wheelchair in the airport. So, and one thing I learned that the weight is less um, when you have a
Wow, a
wheelchair.
whole dingling in the background. Gross.
Oh, okay, yeah, he was a one of them bombers. You can just kick him out. Kick him out.
Yeah, I saw something that
Yeah.
said ban him.
Yeah, you can kick him out and block him.
hmm
Look at how Jose. Sorry.
People don't have no life. You kicked him out already, Kishel?
I think so. This is only the second time I've been through this. So something came up that said ban the person and they won't be able
Yeah,
to do it again unless they create a different YouTube account. So I think I
yeah.
banned them.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That used to happen to Radical all the time.
I didn't even put the link. Oh, I did put the link out. Okay, I'm like, I didn't put the link out. Like, all right, duh, I definitely did. I'm like, how did he get in here?
Yeah, that used to happen to Radical all the time.
Yeah.
That's it's called porno bombing, I think. From not
Like, hey, yo, chill, like, nigga, I'm good.
Yeah, they do that. They do that. Like it'd be a lot of people that be doing that. They ain't got no life. They do that type of stuff. But yeah, like I've only been on a plane once, and that was when we went to Orlando to go visit my aunt who recently just passed. But yeah, we went down there to Orlando to see her. Me and my grandmother. This had to be like back in 2012. That was my only time ever being on a plane.
Wow. It's just something about the plane for me. It just feel like you never going fast enough to be taken off. Like, wait. We ain't going fast enough. We need some more speed. Hold on, not yet. Oh my God, we're in the air. Oh my God, we're up there.
Not a thing that gets me when your ears pop.
Well, the longest flight I have ever been was about 6 hours when I flew from Kennedy to Colombia.
Okay, the longest that I was when I went to London, and that was about 7 hours. But it was nice and comfortable. That was Air Canada. Those Air Canada planes are all that. I mean, they're very comfortable because those are like the bigger ones. They're very stable too. I mean, you don't feel it. You don't feel any movement or turbulence. None of that.
Is it a second class too? I know it's coach first class. Is it a second class?
Well, I remember it. Well, I think it was kind of. I guess it was a bit of an upgrade because of the distance. So it was comfortable. I don't remember paying anything extra for it.
Well, one thing I love about the flight is that they have like the little air conditioner knob thing, so you can set it up to high to make yourself.
Yeah, it do be brick on them fucking planes. It do be cold.
Cold. Yeah. It's never been cold.
It can get cold.
You need a sweater on those planes, and the airport is so cold.
I don't know. I know what airport you're talking about. I have never been cold in an airport.
I'm sure. I'm sure you have it.
You like must be a reptile or something. You're not a human. You're like a reptile.
I mean, come on now. Why are you trying to give me the cold shoulder?
I'm telling you, you better take your BUTT to Coney Island Beach this winter for the polar bears. I want to see you out there. You talk a lot of talk.
We'll see. But like I said, Ramon, I mean, if you come to New York in the wintertime, I'll come to Texas in the summertime. It's perfectly fair.
Okay, it's fair, but I know you ain't not coming to no Texas in the summer. You weren't there.
I actually did travel to Texas in the summertime one time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I may be coming to Texas, Ramon. I may be coming to Houston for my daughter's birthday. My daughter's turning 25, and she's like, Mom, I want to go to Texas. I'm like, for what? She's like, just to say I explored and I did things. I'm like, all right. I'm like, but we got to work it out. So I'll definitely hit you up. I don't know how far that is from you.
Oh, that's like 5 hours.
Oh, that's far.
Yeah.
Well, Texas is a huge state.
Yeah, it's the second biggest. It's the second biggest state. That's right.
Well,
which is bigger, Texas or California?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'll let you know more details as I get it.
Isn't Alaska the biggest state as far as territory, as far as land coverage?
As landmass, when it comes to landmass, maybe not so much when it comes to population, but when it comes to landmass, yeah.
They only got like 600,000 people in the whole state of Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they get to enjoy and actually the good is nice.
You need to move there. You should move there since you love the cold so much.
If he moved there, he gonna move right back to New York.
Yeah. And Jose, you're gonna have to pack a 10 millimeter for those bears out there in Alaska.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have a big caliber firepower for those. Especially if you come up with your buddy, the polar bears, since you love the that cold weather so much, then you
Well,
will have to watch out for the polar bears because
well,
those are.
well. I gotta admit, the winters in Alaska does get kind of chilly over there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's where you need to go. Yeah, that's where you need to be at.
Ever watch those guys, ice road truckers? Those dudes that put the chains
Yeah, I've
on the
seen
truck.
those. I have seen those. I mean, those guys are brave. Yeah, no other. It's unforgiving. No, it's unforgiving that shit.
And remember, they over in Alaska, they don't. It be some months where it's all like nighttime, and then it's some months where it's like all daytime.
Well, yeah, it's kind of in Iceland. They have to deal with that. You have it's either nighttime, like 22 hours out of the out of 24 hours, 2 hours, you only get some sunlight. The rest of the time it's nighttime, and the opposite, depending on the time of the year. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys this question, and I keep asking everybody this because I want everyone's true answer. I want to also wrap this up too, because this was definitely like an impromptu. I thought I was gonna have time to do a live, and then I did, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do a live. But I asked Jose this. He already answered me. How do you guys make time to watch all the other YouTube content creators' videos?
Me personally, I don't. Yeah, you get to watch. Like I'm gonna watch the ones that I can make. Like as far as like I'm gonna watch yours. I'm gonna watch Ramon's. But if it's other content creators on that's at that particular time, then I'm just gonna stick to yours and Ramon's, and those other people I would like watch them later or check in later and give a like and show some support, and that's it. It's no, we don't have the time. We don't have.
Yeah. That's something that I might be.
I respect it.
Yeah, it's something that I might listen in to any of you guys when I'm at work, because sometimes the task that I have to do, well, is something that I'm not really interactive with people, so I can put up one earbud in one of my ears and just listen in while I'm doing what I have to do. So, and I could be at it for like hours at a time. So I can make up some time during the daytime. Yeah, while I'm at work, that's how we usually do it. But uh, aside from that, that's really the best the best way I can do it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Because I really feel like, like I put myself under an enormous amount of pressure to like save all you guys' videos. And like I have a playlist, it's called Save, Watch Later. And everything I'm interested in, I'm doing research in before I'm going to do like my own videos. Like I'll pick a day like tomorrow. Tomorrow's a good day. I'm going to probably like food prep, season food for the week, listen to videos of things I haven't caught in its entirety. And like I'll pressure myself to watch everybody's content who I feel like I think support me or things I'm really interested in. And like, even if I see you guys going live sometime, like I will not watch your current live because I'll try to continue watching like an old video you guys have posted.
Mhm. Well, look, the problem is this: you have a lot of small creators, and sometimes we all seem to be on at the same time. Each each one of us has our own platforms, and then there are other platforms where we try to show love and support. So it gets to the point where there's going to be times that we're not going to be we're going to miss certain platforms. Not It's not
Hmm.
because we're not interested. It's just that there's so many people doing streams, so it's like it's impossible.
Yeah, like I saw you guys last night on Mosey's stream, and I really wanted to join a panel. I'm like low key intimidated about certain people's panels, whatever the case is, but it like a really good stream. And I saw she asked somebody to step down because other people wanted to join the stream at the time, whatever. But it like a really good stream last night. I didn't catch all of it, but I'm gonna definitely go back and try to catch the rest of it. So I was kind of tired at some point, but I feel like I caught like the first hour of it. I didn't catch more than beyond the hour or anything like that. And I think y'all talking about icks, personal icks or whatever the case is. I feel that was extreme.
Yes.
Really good stream.
Well, actually, I'm going to be doing something similar to that on Tuesday night. The pet peeves.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because ick is kind of like the new term, but it's referring to pet peeves, to things that people get bothered by it about others, because we all have that. There are always things that we all seeing other people that we don't like, and yeah.
Like, for example, one pet peeve I have is like people complaining when it's cold, when it's not really cold in the room. I mean, it's like, come on, man. I mean, get, put on a sweater.
You're like devilish evil.
Again.
Like, the most worst with it.
Oh man, Jose, move to Alaska. Move up there with the polar bears and the Siberian huskies and the
We
like.
do you know better, Jose. Move to Russia.
Yeah,
Russia.
the whole. Yeah, I mean that you will be right at home, like minus 50-degree weather and stuff. I mean,
Well, actually, that's going overboard.
Oh, it has to be like that with you because you won't let up.
What do you guys think about Trump right now? All that's going on in the media on CNN and InfoWars and YouTube and Twitter and the judicial system and everything like that. What do you guys think about the whole Trump thing right now?
Well, no, because Trump is being indicted on some things. They're trying to make sure the opposition is trying to make sure to indict Hunter Biden. I don't know if he has to go to trial or something because of some gun charges. And they're trying to. There is also talk about impeaching Biden too. I mean, on what exactly that they can prove it, I don't know yet. But I did read something about that. And they're trying to the GOP is trying to impeach Biden too. So I don't know what's going to happen with that.
I can tell you nothing's going to happen because first of all, if they draw articles and impeachment in the House, it has to go to the Senate, and so it's basically dead on arrival. So it's like unfortunately it's going to be like we're not dealing with a bunch of adults; we're dealing with a bunch of children.
And very old children too, because we're having all of these people holding Senate seats that are 80 years old, and they don't want to let up. They don't want to retire. I mean, so it's like the power. They're very power hungry. It's not even about the money anymore, because you got Nancy Pelosi talking about that she's gonna run again for her seat, for her Senate seat. Like, okay, haven't you
I actually
seen
like
that?
her though, although she's kind of old looking at her stuff. I actually like her attitude,
Pelosi is more than 80 years old. Of course, she has to look somewhat old.
let me. I have said this before, and I'll say it again. No one, once they reach 60, should get into politics. Okay. Because what happened is after a while you lose touch with your constituency. So, and we need new crooks. We need younger crooks. Okay, we need young
not old crooks, but younger crooks, because those are better, right?
Well, the thing how I feel about it is first and foremost, I think the Democratic Party has been exposed that they're not really for the people, and that they painted Trump out to be this tyrant and this racist, when in reality, a lot of them are the ones that's closeted racist, and they try to use race in order to, emotionally move black people into voting for them, while at the same time not doing anything for black people. And we gave them such a solid voting block for God knows how long. They're not doing anything to alleviate crime. They're not putting any resources, anything out here to help stop crime. And at the same time, they're hindering people being able to carry firearms to protect themselves when they don't want to do anything about the crime. In most cases, they like in most cases they'll sit there and pretty much create elements. I mean, create situations where people are forced to go into crime. If that makes any sense. Well, you know, create the issues that will, you know, you know, eventually get out of control and it becomes a criminal element involved. So no, I don't have any, like, Trump is going to win based off of the fact that the Democrats has been exposed for a lot of the con artists that they are. And they're only for putting people in, they're only for bigging up people to keep getting their votes and, you know, for their own personal agenda. Not saying the Republicans are any better, because they're not, but they're both feathers of the same bird. But like what's going on right now is that yeah, they've been exposed for who they are. And people like Trump's honesty. So therefore he's going to get a vote, because Trump is not a politician. So he don't know how to really, you know, throw the wool over people's eyes like a regular politician. He is arrogant. So therefore he says what's on his mind a lot of the times because he's arrogant. Just like when they asked him, you know, well, you get tax cuts and different things like that. He's like, yeah, that makes me smart. He was like, that makes me smart. And which is, he's being honest. And he says, if you want me to stop getting tax cuts, change the system. The system is rigged. And then they say, oh, how do you know the system? I know the system is rigged because I use it. So, you know, a lot of people are playing dumb and playing coy, like they don't know what he's talking about, and that this system is really for the people and not for the rich and the elite wealthy of society. So another thing that we saw, his prosecution down in Georgia, goes to show you another tactic that these Democrats like to use with race. Now that they know, you know, that most of these prosecutors, white prosecutors and lawyers and different people, when they touch that case with Trump, because the case is going to fall through, they don't have enough evidence to, you know, accuse him of any wrongdoing. I mean, to indict him on any wrongdoing. So that case is going to fall through. But what do the Democrats do? They get a whole bunch of black lawyers to be their lapdogs to attack Trump and prosecute him under a case that's not going to hold any weight in court. So once that case is dropped, now they've just ruined their careers as lawyers. And what's going to happen is Trump, if he gets elected, we already know Trump don't believe in getting mad. He believes in getting even. He said this in interviews. I believe in getting even and exacting revenge on my enemies. So they're going to lose their license behind this. But they let the Democratic Party put a battery in their back without fully thinking that they, you know, now their heads is on the chopping block. So.
Well, I respect your take on it, and you know, I know people get emotional and touchy when it comes to politicians and voting and who you voting for and this, that, and the third. And you know, I normally try to keep myself quiet, you know, even when he would tell you who to vote for, whether it's union, personal, family, friends, whatever the case is. But I'm not gonna lie, I like I like some of the things he was talking about. It's just, you know, his demeanor, the way he delivers things are really untastefully done sometimes. And again, he's a businessman, he's not a politician, so that's why he moves in the way he moves and everything like that. But I definitely think he's gonna get nominated. I definitely think he's gonna be on that ballot. And I definitely agree with you that a lot of people are gonna vote for him, because you know I was definitely saying that, you know, prior to, like, you know what, not for nothing, like, at least he tell it how it is. He ain't doing no smoking mirrors. He's telling me exactly what the hell's going to happen, whether you like the soft version or the hard version. He giving it to you raw.
Yeah, we got to make sure we pay attention to people's policies, because even I'm guilty of that. And most of the American people, we are emotional voters. We don't pay attention to policy or anything like that. And that's what end up hurting us in the end. because everybody loved Bill Clinton, but they didn't know Bill Clinton was involved in so much crap that he did between him and Biden, of course, with the three strike laws and all of the dirt that he did and over in Haiti, him and Hillary, different things like
Mm.
that. So it takes, a lot of people, we don't pay attention to that type of stuff. And it's because we're not educated, and they want you to they want to keep you uneducated because that's how you blindly, walk into stuff, and they can manipulate you, which is why they're trying to get a stronghold on the internet right now as we speak. So
Right, for sure. Well, you guys, I definitely want to wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for coming up, and I hope I didn't chop the chopping block too quick because I've been told that I just be real blunt and forceful with it. Like, damn, like, well, where is that coming from? Like, we had no indication of that. So I'm gonna just, say it is time to go. But thank you guys for popping up. I didn't think I was gonna do a live because I thought I was gonna be unprepared or life was gonna get the best of me. So I definitely already dropped the video today. But I do want to wrap this up because it's like after midnight and I don't ever be on this late on a live. But thank you guys for popping in and tell me something that my viewers and my fans or my subscribers can know about you guys. First of all, before you guys say anything, I want to just shout all of you guys out on the panel right now because I see all of you guys growing in a different way. I see myself growing. I see us all, doing more mature content, more constructive content, more flowing content, more engaging content. We're getting subscriptions here and there slowly but surely. We're all getting more views. So if I see it, that means other people see it. So shout out to all of you guys, as well as shout out to all of my subs. But big shout out to all of you guys. I see you guys paying attention and doing all the right things. And I'm rooting for y'all behind the scenes, even if I don't catch y'all live. So I just want to say that real quick. But any of you guys can go up really quickly or, first, second, third, whatever case, and just say what's coming for you guys, on your channel. So my little subscribers can probably, pay attention to what's going on your side.
Any of you guys wanna go first? I can go first.
okay, I'll go ahead because I'm gonna go ahead and exit. Yeah, just well, if anybody want to tune in tomorrow to check out my channel, I'm going to be doing a live stream to celebrate the life and passing of one of the, in my personal opinion, one of the greatest, most influential hip hop artists of our time, Tupac Shakur, because it's the 27th anniversary since his passing, and just reflect on the messages that was in his music and how his music is still relevant to this day. His influence on the rap game, and just everything that he contributed to hip hop and to the culture due to the short time that he was here. And my channel I'm gonna have various things coming up on my channel. Sometimes it's random. It's not kind of like a channel where we talk about one particular thing. It's kind of like all over the place. So that's it. Thank you for allowing me on your platform once again, Michelle. Really appreciate it. And shout out to the fellas, my boy Introvert Boricua and Jose Negron.
Thank you, Peace King. You're always welcome here. And shout out for the tourist love and all of that. And thank you guys for just popping in because this was definitely impromptu. I was not going to do a live. So thank you guys for just you know what? I'm going to see what she's doing anyway.
All right.
No
So,
doubt.
yeah. All right. In that case, I'm just going to be really quick. Say, Giselle, I appreciate you letting me be up on your panel. I know that I didn't catch it from the very beginning. I was in the middle of something, but yeah, some of the things that you were talking about did bring me back some memories about when I was a kid. Before you, because I mean, I'm a few years older, so my childhood was more in the 80s.
You older than me? I thought I thought I was older than you. I'm 41. You older than me?
No, I just turned 48 in August at
You
the beginning of.
look good, Papi Chulo. You look good.
Ah, oh, gracias, mami. I'll try to not look too old. But yeah, I'm 48 now, and And like I'm not feeling too bad. I mean, when I celebrated, I was in New York. I was in your city. Celebrated, and I did a lot of walking and felt fine. So, hopefully it stays like that for a long time. And right now, I'm trying to hold back on what I'm eating because I'm trying to trim down. I have some clothes that I've had for years that are almost new because I only wore them a couple of times, but I haven't been able to wear them because my I need to lose a couple of waist sizes so I can wear those clothes again. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. So I can look even younger. I'm trying to keep it look younger. So yeah, but I appreciate you letting me be on up on your panel, and not much else I can say. I can say. I mean, my childhood was in the '80s. It's very nostalgic. I remember those times, and in the cartoons that I mentioned on your chat. That's what I was growing up watching. There were certain things that you were watching that I didn't have access to because I didn't always have cable TV. So I was watching everything that was brought to Puerto Rico dubbed in Spanish. Um, but still great times, good times. And I wanted, what is it? Step down the content.
Oh,
Ah,
that's
okay.
just a new band I'm working on. I don't normally do spicy streams, but I know some people are very passionate about things we discuss on these streams, and people get opinionated. So I wanted to throw up a banner, not because of you specifically, but just for the future, just so people can see, like, this
Yes.
is a love space. This is a no hate, no anger, no violence space. No
Ah,
verbal
okay.
space. That's all.
Okay. Yes, but yeah, but that was that time. It was good times. It's very nostalgic. Maybe I didn't want it to come up on the panel earlier because I didn't want it to get too nostalgic about those times, especially since I'm living far away from my little homeland, in which I have all of those memories. But yeah, this was a great subject, great stream. I'm looking forward to the next one. And in the meantime, anybody who's listening, check out my channel. It's Introvert Boricua 787 on the search box, and hit the subscribe and the notification bell for all updates. And of course, um, also check out Don Jose's channel on Common Sense with Jose Negron. He's more consistent than me when it comes to content creation. I have an idea for a live stream. If I don't do it tomorrow, it will be the following day. That I'm of course counting on you guys to be able to check it out. It's kind of like that girlfriend from hell type of subject. But I still have to gather all of the details and the visual aids and so on. But Kisha, I appreciate you letting me be on your panel. Shout out to Jose, and shout out to the chat. And until then, I'm gonna be taking my leave. You guys have a good one.
Thank you. I'm gonna definitely make sure right now in YouTube Studio that I add all of you guys on the panel into the description of this video so people can actually click the link in the description and just, hit the like and subscribe button to your channels. I'm gonna like set that in like, like a little template, so I'll always just have it, when people just pop in, so I'm gonna
Mhm.
definitely do that to this video, and I'm gonna like put this in my community tab. And again, it was an impromptu, but I'm happy it turned out good, and we all had something to contribute to the conversation. So thank you for telling my subscribers and viewers, what's up with you and your perspectives and what's up coming up with you.
Yeah, and also anybody who's listening, also if you're only watching, make sure that you're also subscribed to Kishel's channel. Don't be only an observer from the clouds. Also subscribe and join the discussion on the panel, the chats and comments, and hit the like. Help all girl out. So I'm out then. Thanks for having me.
Peace out and have a great weekend.
You too.
Jose, how are you? What you got to tell my little subscribers and my little fans? What's going on? I know you always have a lot of going on your channel as far as multiple streams and content on various days. So tell us what's up with you.
Well, what I try to do is come up, some things that might you know, be interesting. When it comes to the more controversial topics, I try to be careful because that can easily get a little bit out of control. It a lot of it's just hit and miss. I mean, there are times when I'll have streams where it gets hardly any views, and I have some that will go, that will go get like 200 or even 300 views.
I agree. Like I think the other day, today or yesterday, I posted a hair video and it got like a lot of views in under 24 hours. So like you said, it's hit and miss. Sometimes you can post a video that you put a lot of editing and filter and thought into the title and everything, and the video just doesn't produce what you expect it to produce. So it is hit and miss. It really is. Trial and error.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and then there's streams where I didn't think it would get a lot of attention. Actually, did. And one thing when it comes to like certain controversial issues, particularly when it has to do with the perception that um, males have and females have, I try to make sure that I be as neutral as possible.
I mean, that's definitely important. For sure. That's the best you can do. As a YouTube content creator and a small content creator and somebody who wants to abide by the community guidelines here that YouTube has put forward to us. Like, we don't want to sabotage our channels in any way to have to rework up what we built so hard to build at this point. I feel like we're all at solid numbers where we don't want to start over again. Although it's possible, we see people like Golden Goddess 100 who has done that maybe 2 or 3 times already. But for all of us, we may not want to do that. So we want to just keep the flow, the momentum, follow the rules, and do what we got to do.
Yes, that's true. That's very true.
Okay. Well, anything else you want to let my little subscribers or content creators know, or fans or anybody watching know about your channel that you feel like we should know about?
Okay. Well, first of all, the name of the channel is Uncommon Sense with Osenica. And what it is, it's more like an open forum discussion channel. I focus on everyday issues and we try to come up with logical solutions. As a whole, I don't censor people. All I ask is that people be mutually respectable, and when we disagree, that we be agreeable when we disagree. Um, it's meant to be a safe space for everyone to to share their point of views, and we can learn through disagreements. So that's the reason. And unfortunately, the reason why it's called uncommon sense because people don't use logic a lot. So it's very uncommon. And of course, I give the name to my supporters, which I refer to as the uncommon folk.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for giving us that tea on you and what's coming up for you and what you got going on. I really do appreciate you. I hope you have a good evening, Jose. And thank you for popping in on this impromptu stream of Wine and FaceTime, episode 41. Again, I didn't expect to go live today. I thought I just wanted to drop the pre-recording, but happy I did it. We had a great conversation and I like how everything turned out. So thank you
Yeah.
for doing that.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you for having me. Of course, I missed the first hour because I was coming home from doing overtime. So
You didn't miss much. Just me talking about my childhood of being fat and eating cereal and watching my favorite cartoons.
well, you know what? In all fairness, I can never. I mean, I don't. I can never picture you being large in the middle. But It's possible. It's possible. But the bottom line is, whether it be thin, fat, bald, or what have you, try to be happy with what you are. I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying to try to improve your health or what have you. But just be happy with you are.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, coming more to terms with that, and not being too critical of myself and having grace with myself and, taking it one day at a time and, focusing more on action versus talking about things and, saying I want to do things, but actually putting action to making those things happen in real time.
Yeah, that's true. Well, in any case, I will depart. Thank you very much, and I will encourage everyone to please subscribe to One and FaceTime. I mean, it's not often that she does a stream this late, but and I did share your stream on my community tab.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. I've shared a couple of your streams and I've been trying to do my best to share everyone's streams in our little circle. You, Ramon, Rakim, Golden, anyone who I've met through you. I try my best to like share it to my community tab, especially if I don't get a chance to watch the full stream or, be active as I want to. I try to do my best to share people's streams.
Yeah, and I try to do the same thing. Well, good night, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You
And
too.
remember, it is now 96 days until the first day of winter.
Adios mio roast con pollo.
Goodbye. Take care.
Bye, Jose. Well, guys, you've heard it. This was an impromptu stream of wine and FaceTime. It was an open discussion as well regarding what's your favorite cereal we were coming up as a kid. What was your favorite cartoon coming up as a kid, as well as some of our favorite little memories. Again, I say I like to talk about these conversations because it made me think about younger times when I was a kid. Less responsibility, less accountability, having fun, no worries, no stress, none of that stuff. Being an adult, we have children, spouses, jobs, work. We got so much to think about. So again, it takes you back to that place of just innocence and good times and just all that lack of responsibility and accountability. So I feel like those are good things to think about sometimes, make me feel good inside. Again, my favorite cereal coming up was definitely Captain Crunch peanut butter and Captain Crunch Crunch berries. My favorite cartoons coming up was definitely like Care Bears and like Thundercats, He-Man and She-Ra, things of that nature. Definitely was, on to Looney Tunes, that Bugs Bunny, the Road Runner, things of that nature. Like that was my era, being an 80s babies. Like, that's what I grew up on, watching, eating. Today, I don't eat cereal a lot for breakfast anymore. I definitely don't watch cartoons that much anymore for waking up in the morning. But I'm definitely all up into the Marvel series, thanks to my partner and everything like that. I'm all up into the Spider Universe, DC and Marvel and learning about all these ultra universes and things like that, things I had no idea about prior to maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago. So yeah, of course, shout out to the chat right now. Brian EBK is saying that stuff we wrote was poison. It definitely was. The cereal GMO is trash for sure. Like again, I don't eat any cereal. Like as I said in the beginning of the stream, my favorite breakfast of all times over waffles, pancakes, avocados, lettuce and tomatoes, any kind of bacon, egg, and cheese, or any kind of breakfast sandwich is going to be French toast. French toast is my favorite breakfast in the whole wide world. I love French toast, whether it's Belgian waffle French toast, stuffed French toast, regular homemade French toast. I love French toast. I'll take French toast over any breakfast any day. But it's a lot of process to make French toast, but that's definitely my favorite, breakfast. Some French toast, some scrambled eggs, some meatless sausages, maybe some fruit on the side, iced coffee, vanilla, hazelnut, kind of, nice and chilled, my little flavor additives and they make it nice and sweet and, caramelly. That's my favorite breakfast. But, I don't get a chance to feed myself to my favorite breakfasts and stuff like that. So, again, it was cool reminiscing on, the old school favorite breakfast cereals and, breakfast bars. Shout out to the entire chat, everybody who came through on the panel, especially Rakim, Introvert Bariqua, Uncommon Sister Holding the Throne, Irby Fatal, the 18th Letter, Brian EBK, everybody who came through in the chat. I want to just scroll up in the chat, make sure I'm not missing anybody, just so I can show love to everybody. So no one feels like, oh, she thinks she's so fly. She didn't even get a chance to mention. And I was up in her chat, giving her respect and everything. Irby Fatal is the realest person I know that holds down all the chats. Shout out to Irby Fatal. Like, Irby Fatal needs to be doing his own channel. So again, I didn't miss anybody. I shouted out everybody who popped through. No love to the guy who came through showing his private. He gets no respect out here. But shout out everybody who came through. It's the weekend. It's another episode of Wine and FaceTime, episode 41. So to this Saturday, I got 2 episodes. I got episode 40 and 41. So go back and catch our episode 40 pre-recorded, dropped at 8 p.m. this evening. Here's a live episode 41, just dropped live today for Wine and FaceTime. So y'all got a 2-for-1 special out of me this evening. So peace out, y'all. Hope all is well. Shout out to everybody. Catch us in the replay. Leave a comment, share, like my video, subscribe, all that good stuff. Again, shout out to all my subscribers. Wouldn't be here without you guys. Thank you for everybody who likes the reels, the shorts, all the videos. People that just keep hitting that subscription button. Thank you guys so much for just showing your girl some love. Leave me a comment on this video. Let me know what you like most. You like the hair videos, you like the makeup videos, you like the workout videos, you like the wine and FaceTime videos. What drew you to my channel? What made you hit that subscription button? What did you like, the most? Definitely trying to figure it out, what I'm saying, still out here in this game. But peace out, y'all. That's all from me. Have a great weekend. It's your girl, Kajal.